What is up, guys? How are we doing? It is officially that time. We are here. We are ready. It is Octane Collegiate season. We got lower round threes. Top 10 move on. Bottom 10 eliminated. The last chance to make it to the semifinals. I swear, by the way, check out this. Kuzer, not Koryu, and of course, Partisi. There's your say my name redemption. Welcome to the broadcast. Swanky Squid, congratulations on West Virginia. And yeah, not Koryu, good luck today. Best of luck on playing through. You're going to have, hopefully, an easy time qualifying. But that being said, the competition is stacked. Obviously, there are those that have competed and worked their ass off to make it to semifinals already. At the same time, though, we are discussing the next best set of 20 here. That's right, the next best set of 20. Of course, I'll start that in a second. But I will also start with this. This is, for those of you who don't know, this is the baby that I had to rescue recently. His name is Lewis, officially, as of my choice. And, yeah, he is all well fed, he's all stimulated, he's all good, and he's taking a little nap. And so he'll be napping, and then we'll feed him there. I'm in Texas right now. Check your closets tonight. I'm going to steal that kitten. Oh, yeah, no. You're in Texas, so you'll meet your maker if you find your way over here. But at least for Lewis, he is well protected. Can we have the Lewis cam on the whole time, please? We will have the Lewis cam on before game, right? In the intermediary when the scoreboards are up, and then of course we do have the big Lewis cam. The only time I won't have the Lewis cam on is when we are literally in game, all right? Because just keeping him. It's a treat. You guys get to see Lewis after the game. But we got to let him sleep during the game. Don't even show gameplay. Just narrate over Lewis. Okay. As you can see there, soft twitch of the ears. He is napping better than anyone I've ever seen. All right. Talk about an incredible kitten on the field. Taking his time. One breath in, one breath out. Sleep, sleep, dream, dreamland for the man, Lewis. All right, there you go. Tune into Kaiser today. We're going to put on a show. Well, I will take this back to the scoreboard because yada, yada, yada. But remember, I do have a lovely, lovely observer. And so you can see Lewis Cam's over there. Lewis Cam is that way. No big deal. Still here. Is Tamu full squad today? Yes. Texas A&M Maroon is the full slam. All right, look at E-District Draft, Slum Stadium's beef of the century. What have we got going on here? This is, lower round 3. 2. We are only doing Storm Point E-District. So we got Angels Atrium, Slums Stadium, Kaiser Navy, and Penn State Blue right alongside each other. Take note of that. Maybe some Kaiser Navy, Penn State Blue early action. Those teams both coming from contenders. Notably, both from the lower side of the... Penn State was from the upper side. They finished 19th yesterday. Low side. Free KP for Kaiser. Penn State is a duo. Oh, that's rough. Oh, Atmosai. Thank you so much for the 15 streak. We'll talk a little bit about most of these teams as we make our way through today. One thing I want to touch up on before we get into it is the results from yesterday. One last time. Of course, we see the bottom half of the upper bracket. That's where we get the first pick teams. You have Premier, IU, Pennsylvania Crimson. Premier, Houston Red. Contenders League, the Guelph Griffins. Premier, UT Tyler. Premier, Georgia Tech Navy. Premier, UCSD Gold. Premier, Full Sail Armada. And then there at the bottom, you got CS, UDH from Contenders, as well as Penn State Blue from Contenders. And then Texas A&M Maroon from Premier. Course. Now, on the other side of the bracket, we have our successors, our winners, our absolute chaos of avoiding the bottom 10 elimination marked at the start here by Arkansas State. Kaiser Navy made it from contenders. Of course, Purdue Black from Premier joins them. The Illinois State Redbirds is the final open roster left alive. They are the last team standing from Open League. Both the Charlotte Niners as well as Abilene Christian Esports were knocked out yesterday in the bottom 10. So they are the final remaining squad. I believe, actually, my apologies, not AC. It was Charlotte Niners and Arkansas State. AC, I believe, was in contenders. All right, whatever. Beyond that, you have, of course, the Utah State Goats from contenders, Iowa State Red from contenders. Joining alongside them, the primary roster from Premier League, Iowa State Farmers, Group T and the like. UCF Knights from contenders, the Gamerhawks Navy from Premier League with RIT Black and Hawaii as well. For those of you who are asking for maybe a little bit of statistics today regarding how many are in this lobby, we have 8 teams that were not from Premier League. There are 12 Premier rosters. If I'm counting that right, there are 12 Premier level rosters here today. Alongside them, there are then now going to be 7 contenders teams and then 1 open. We will be watching with bated breath to see if the Illinois State Redbirds can at least make it to semifinals. But even than that, I believe yesterday in the upper bracket, we saw 5 contenders level teams make it, right? Just saying half the teams that qualified for semifinals were contenders teams. There you go, Callum. Exactly what I was saying. 5 contenders level teams are in semis right now. There are currently, of course, like I said, those 8 eligible lower squads that can make it. Is Group T in? Group T is in. You can see that here, as I believe we're starting on Storm Point today. So we got the first 3 games on Storm Point. That being said, I am going to get our prediction going, by the way. Oh, over under ISU Red 5.5 KP. I never selected that one. Let's see. Iowa State Red. It was an under. Congratulations. All right. Final prediction settled there. Let's start this prediction while you guys check out that. We love scrim quality. Scrim quality always represents, game 1 quality score over under 8.0. Over under. These lobbies have been a lot more competitive, so I'm more inclined to say so. You guys got 5 minutes on the board. Welcome, Group T. You're warmed up. You got Lightning Rod in 15th pick. No shit, look at that. 15th pick Lightning Rod. Hell, Iowa State Red got Barometer that late, too. Of course, there is some hefty positioning towards E-District within the top 10. Half picked E-District first there, and even Gamerhawks right before that. The rest do favor Storm Point a little bit. Zephyr, thoughts on Lightning Rod 15th? Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Let's see what swooped under in the meanwhile there. It was Zeus Station first for IUP. I like it. Kind of similar concept. Mills, Cedo Station, no surprise there. Of course, then we get the Wall. Yeah, preference. Checkpoint for Texas A&M Maroon. That's out of preference more than anything. They lose out on Mills, so they go towards Checkpoint. And then Cascades for central positioning for Hawaii. They played very well there. Pylon, a very strong pick. And then, yeah, you got Launchpad, Lightning Rod, Barometer, Cenote. Picking ED first is Troll. Picking ED first is Troll. I feel like ED is a more forgiving map when it comes to allowing yourself to work your way out of a POI. And as a result, I'm a little surprised. Welcome, Kayak. We getting 10 KP. Well, that was yesterday, so Lewis looks like a big potato. Lewis is a little potato. Lewis is a little baby. Here. Right there. Oh. Hey! OG Cup Killer. Thank you so much for the follow. There's Lewis. He's not a baked potato. Maybe you guys can name the lion while we wait. Lock Sanity, of course, Schmalls, Minnesota. We'll be seeing those two a little bit. Just the happiest little guy. I don't know. He's dreaming sweet thoughts. And, of course, you can see up there in the top right, just a little Lewis fund. Maybe we'll do something Christmas-oriented around it, but Zephyr is a father now. And so his homie Ray, Lewis and his homie Ray, I don't know what that's referencing, but I like Ray because he's a ray of sunshine. Lions are the sun. But yeah, 69 subs away. Ray Lewis. Hi, Zephyr. Hi, Lewis. Welcome, Elixirs. Good point. Anyways, you can see him down there in the bottom left. He will disappear during game. All right, he will. So have your respect, have your safety, have your faith. End of the day, the stakes are on the line. Bottom 10 teams eliminated. And here's the thing that I was going to say with Group T earlier. The reason why I find E-District a little troll is because you want to set your pace on Storm Point. You do not want to be playing catch-up on E-District. For those of you that watched uppers or lowers on the bracket, you saw how chaotic it can get going in as late as around 5. Of course, Boardwalk there. Ray Lewis was a really good football player. I know. Ray Lewis was not a very good football player. He is an all-time great. Literally, the peak, the height. One of the greatest football players of all time. It's Arc Raiders time. Well, hey, Mank, you've earned yourself that right. USM does not have to worry about where their position is. We'll be seeing y'all next week on weekend, 2 weekends away on December 3rd. Of course, some small shout-outs here as we keep looking at that. And we're still about 5 minutes away, so get your bets in. Over, under. A lot of you are taking the under on Scrim Quality 8. I find that a little silly. I think you'd be surprised to find that it's actually quite high. Who picked Storm Point super late? Okay, you had Houston and Guelph, Echo and Bean. All right. You had, who is this? UCS. How does UCSD Gold sneak away with a downed beast as the 26th pick? Yes, it is an edge POI. It is far from most zones at that. It is still a pretty darn good POI. Hefty loot, good rotation. You can speed and grab that trident fairly quickly, and you should be relatively good as a setup. I cannot believe UCSD gets this at 26th. That is probably the most egregious one of all. Good amount of zones pull back too. Yeah, how many times this semester have we worked our way back into Mills or south side of Mills, kind of that Bean Cenote area? And then, yeah, you have a trident, so does it really matter? Shipyard, number 32, by the way. Yeah, let's look at the rest. Full Sail gets North Pad. Also, a pretty darn good POI, albeit got to have a little bit of a different strategy there. What is the split in terms of zone versus edge teams? I'm glad you asked. So I went back and I calculated just this morning the performance recently from these 20 teams. I took the percentage of their KP and I gave them a little bit of a rough modifier for what we consider them. Now, here's the thing. It is kind of biased. The bottom 10 teams obviously aren't going to have a lot of KP because they themselves are struggling. And then on the other side of the bracket, of course, I mean, you should have this be more kill-heavy oriented because you were performing well. That being said, we do have a slightly higher percentage of zone play from teams like Hawaii and RIT, even though they finished first and second. That can probably be oriented to some good first or second place finishes. So it is still a pretty high percentage at that. Notably, the Illinois State Redbirds do stand out to me, though, with an incredibly high KP standing. We see them have a really strong struggle yesterday trying to play for those end games. And so they had one very, very big kill point game, and that does make up the majority of their total. But 71% is still something to, take a look at. Same with Iowa State Red and the Farmers, 60 and above, 66%. I mean, pretty strong KP from that. I feel like there are very few teams that define them as zone edge play style. Pretty much. Even if you aren't, it's like you have some slightly skewed data here because you're working yourself away, and then at the same time, if you are in this position, like someone like Texas A&M Maroon just didn't have a day at all. So we can't really say they're a zone-oriented team, We know for a fact that Texas A&M Maroon oftentimes actually likes to play slightly more edge. I feel like in Octane, the better descriptions are Ape versus Survive. Yeah. My teammate said he saw 3 Newcastles out of the drop ship. I mean, yeah. I mean, Newcastle has been pick of the poison for a lot of these teams right now, so no surprise there. I will point out the Guelph Griffins and UT Tyler Esports were slightly kill-heavy oriented. 62% is kind of high. I think that's the third highest of anyone. So look towards the Jonkler there as time goes on. Wish us luck. Good luck, Nextlow. Break a leg to anybody competing today. Anyways, that's some bare minimum statistics. You could see where a lot of these teams came from, etc., etc., etc. Yada, yada, yada. Nothing super serious there. We are just barely now getting into game, so we still have that kind of 5-minute delay. But other than that, happy to answer questions. Here's the Lewis cam. I know you guys love the Lewis cam. Cheap viewers. Yeah, cheap viewers are banned. Sorry. All in all, I'm pretty excited for how things are going to turn out. Lewis. My name is Lewis. Yeah. Pretty excited for how things are going to turn out. We did get a little peek yesterday, by the way, at how things are going to. Only the most premium of viewers allowed here. Yeah, when you're rocking a 6-month subscriber badge, I would agree. Do you guys really care about that? I don't know. Is Waffles better? How to get good at college APEC. Hide. For Lewis? Yeah, for Lewis. You go to the University of Oklahoma. Hey. Shout out to Oklahoma, by the way. I believe they did qualify yesterday, and they will be joining us in semifinals B. Check this out. We do have this already up on the board, so slightly important. This is how the groups are going to work out. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, as we do have some extra time here. But OU will be on their way. I heart Lewis just as much as you do, small guy. Thank you so much. I think you just pushed us over the brim to 240 subscribers. That is about as good as it gets. And thank you for being a friend of the broadcast. Getting as far away from misplays as possible. Yeah, I mean, in fairness, Oklahoma, like Georgia to Oklahoma, ain't that far. I know it's half of America, but you could be making bigger dives. You could go to SJSU, Elixirs. All right. Speaking of them, they're in semifinals B. I want to get y'all's opinion on this while we do have another minute or two before we get into the game. I think semifinals A is the death semifinals. Not because Cumberland, Southern Miss, Utah aren't terrible or something of the like. I'm more worried about the fact that you have the heaviest inting squads here on semifinals A. Bellevue, the Ottawa Braves, Fisher Esports. They are distinctly aggressive. And we'll see how it goes. So, if Jose goes for a misplays, if misplays goes for that, that's insane. Bro, what is this split? The split was decided by how the teams finished, right? So, Bellevue was first, Cumberland was second, KSU Gold was third, Southern Miss was fourth, fifth, Ottawa Braves, sixth, the University of Utah, right? So, it's literally split right down the middle, odds and evens. And so, you don't want to end up on this side of the bracket. I believe Augusta was evens yesterday, so I believe evens are over here now, maybe? I don't know. We end up with the intiest ass teams. Yeah, West Virginia Wesleyan Kaiju. There you can see them in 15th. Hey, I'm not much happier myself. Texas A&M White is there in 14th. They're going to be struggling, but we'll see how it goes. All right. I'll let you guys stew on that one. We'll say goodbye to Lewis as he goes and drifts off into Dreamland. Ow. I'm walking away from that one for the time being. We're on a lobby reset. I guess we still have time. Thank you so much for the subscription, by the way. Lewis. Well, I'll tell you what. It's right there in the top left. I feel a little, I'm not saying I feel a little low energy today. I'm sure as the games start, we'll really ramp into it. But definitely, I mean, the stakes are on. Bottom 10 are eliminated today, and I am, I don't know. Look at him. Look at him just stretch. Upper round odds, maybe Cumberland Lobby. That's 100%. 100%. Oh, yeah, I mean, I'll say this. OU has a bigger, much better time in that lobby than anyone else. I mean, you only have to make top 10. Top 10 is far from impossible. It's not the easiest thing. It's not, but it's not match point, right? So OU and Lobby B, I mean, thank your lucky stars. But here's the thing. In Apex Legends, identifying the group you're playing into and how you need to address it is kind of a big moment. You have to understand that if you are in a lobby full of inters, draft POIs away from them, right? Slow your game style down so that you won't run into them, and just address the issue right off the bat. No Bellevue or Fisher. Yeah. So if you're worried about Bellevue or Fisher, just make it work. You should keep the Lewis cam up at all times. You guys are gnarly about this Lewis cam. I mean, hold on. Here's in-game. Where would I put it? Here it is. We're, by the way, game 1. Congratulations. Welcome to game 1, everybody. Lewis cam is better than Apex gameplay. I love Lewis, guys. Oh my gosh. My guys literally won't. I've told them to counter draft a million times. They literally just say we draft the vibe. Sometimes the vibe's good. Penn State, full 3, massive gameplay incoming. There you go. Apparently a hype train started from that initial subscription from a while ago. I don't know if you mean that. All right. Well, we're into it. Storm Point on the board here. Put Lewis cam to the right of the mini map. It's a blank space. We don't need to see you. Just put Lewis there, guys. What if I do this? All right, I can intermediate. Hold on.
Evo harvester spotted near me.
You have a small Lewis cam. There you go. You have an uber little tiny Lewis cam right there. There you go. There's Lewis. There you go. You can watch him officially all game long. There you go. Meet you in the middle. Now, if I'm pretty sure the Iowa State Farmers did not start here. This was IUP Crimson's first selection out of the draft. And so I'm pretty sure they've already rotated out towards the wall. And this is a good thing.
Let's go that
Guys, IUP ain't stupid. Pennsylvania Crimson realizes they're a duo. They understand they can't take the rush. Farmers love to look for KP, so what do? They move on. Meanwhile, for the Guelph Griffins, they've lost out on 1 here. Same to be said, though, for the Utah State Goats. Trade got up on height, and the beams come down from the low ground, committing to the Guelph Griffins, stuck with nowhere to go. Those beams have to hit. Thankfully, the damage is recovered, but you lose out as a result. Utah State Goats, the first team eliminated here in 20th. F the Griffins. I'm going to make sure to throw all their games because of that. The Guelph Griffins did, in fact, start in Bean, which that means they're looking to get mean. I wish you the best of luck, USU. Goth, you got some stuff cut out for you. Meanwhile, Houston Red, the Cougars here. They're in their own thing. Hey! Swanky! My man! Absolutely insane. Thank you so much. 10 subs. Congratulations, everyone there for Lewis. That's why it's the Lewis Fund. Right up there at the top for Lewis. We should start getting him a little name chart. He can learn it. Thank you so much, Swanky. You didn't have to do that. One father to another father. You know what I mean? Someone that's not Boyd has money. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. I would assume some of you. Except for you're the GOAT, but the Griffins are going to receive these back shots. All right. Hey, put your money where your mouth is. Chat away here, but I'll tell you what. We're going to have to wait till next game to see if you guys got it in the tank. Your back shots.
Phoenix, get here.
We are going to be pulling slightly further towards the north as we get a little peek back up towards Kaiser Navy. We do have a slight split on the play outside of Wall here. Meanwhile, for the University of Hawaii, at some point, we said goodbye to Cole. Looks like the revive is officially coming through for Gerald. Kai is going to utilize that Valkyrie passive to maybe give them the extra information. Up on high, Kaiser Navy, they'll find just about damn everything. By the way, Interceder, Goth, Fossis Bestis, Breakblocks, Ty Knows Best, Wick, Vira, Doobie, Blank, and Mank. Welcome to the Zephyr family. Georgia Tech Navy, they've got their own sort of success cut out for them. Here's the thing with Wall, though. As we've seen many times with these particularly deep POIs, with squads playing zone, you're not going to see a lot of action, right? You're not going to see many of these teams really move into one another as they're going to be playing for the end game. Now, Purdue Black, they represent as the final fourth squad to make their way in. From behind, though, it does seem like Penn is able to get that long-range Sentinel knock, and here does come the rest of Penn from up on height. They could take this one away. Problem is, things like that Newcastle, these quick resets, it's likely that they are already up and back into play. A quick peek around the stairwell leads to no re-knock, but they've already got damage down. Nox gas grenade will punish them out, but not before they find Dream eliminated. Up to height to peak the second floor as that ticking continues from behind the Newcastle shield here. You've got to make a break. Already, other teams paying attention. Trauma, that quick reset. Newcastle coming in clutch here to get the team hanged. One of the Purdue players playing from the airport right now. Who's playing from the airport? Iowa State Red will face their end at the hands of the Gamerhawks Navy. In the meanwhile, between that action, Purdue Black still hanging on for dear life. Penn State Blue has overtaken the first floor. No, that's a beautiful stick that should give them what they need. The gas trap's going to slow them out here, but I would be looking a lot more aggressive than that. Castle wall available, and the gas trap popped out here. Days up on height, but there's another gas trap stopping them. They're just probably going to have to share this one for the time being here. Yeah, I mean, full health Purdue Black, gas traps on every door. I think we slow down here. Meanwhile, UCSC, San Diego, the gold roster already found some of these knocks from up on height, holding off that final bit of gas. Will find the full thirst on to Recev. Sadly, only one remaining member for the IUP Crimson roster, likely to be potentially picked up by Full Sail Armada, or maybe a later rotate there from UT Tyler. 3 KP each game is a good way to get semis, to be fair. 3 KP each game is 18 points. Most of our cutoffs sit around 32. Trauma's playing in the airport. Okay, well, here's Trauma. He misses out on the bottom half of that mobile shield. Texas A&M Maroon, we have seen them in position out here towards the west. Today, Zwifty is back. We do have the full force of this roster. No duo, everybody in play. IUP Crimson down to their final remaining member, and Full Sail Armada are one of the few rosters to actually work into them that is a duo themselves. UT Tyler Esports, though, not so far away, could just as quickly capitalize in on this. You can hear them, I mean, basically fine. F the Griffins, they die in the storm, haha. Well, they don't die before IUP Crimson there. We did see them fly in. UT Tyler does find Ever ratting that one out. Yeah, the Guelph Griffins are still all the way down towards the south. Goth, I'm gonna be honest with you. They're still alive on my screen, so I'm gonna need you to reel it in. Take some time there. Thank you so much for the hype train. Mostly, of course, our friend Small Guy and Swanky Squid. Beautiful level. Open up that height chest. We got a down bad emote. And there you go. There you go. Yeah, no spoilers. No spoilers in chat. Please, if you would be so kind. All right. Couple of long range shots there. One thing I am going to do while we are in a kind of a lull state. Sorry, I forgot someone dig in me. Dig in me? What does that mean? Hey, faster! A little light to the train, but this station is always accepting tracks. Doesn't matter if it's Prime, doesn't matter what it may be. Thank you so much for the subscription there. 17 squads remaining, and once more has just flown in overhead. That's RIT Black. Gonna be landing right alongside UCSD. They'll find company already down here, but the height is still ahead by UCSD. Lucian and Rumbly, they have such a good head on this, and Throx will go down mostly at the cost of Yuffie's original Nox gas grenade and traps here. A couple of long-range nades, and you could see RIT completely drop down, but instead, they're finding themselves a sponge of bullets. Still, though, it is Rumbly losing out on the fight there. 1v1 scenario with the zone still closing in. J-Hoop with the Sheila peeking what might be the re-knock. Instead, runs right in there. Shot in the back, though? Shot in the back? Was that University of Hawaii? I think Hawaii just saved UCSD.
Don't go there.
Whatever it may be, they continue to survive even after a beautiful flying from RIT gets punished out. My lord. Full Sail Armada here, stuck as a duo, were able to put themselves at least on this lower respite of a rock to give themselves some time. Problem is, UT Tyler has been so good at sniffing out these rats. That's PB and John first eliminated here, and realistically, nowhere you pick is any bit better. Wholesale are going to be able to get this revive up here. In the kill feed, looks like we got fighting from the UH roster there and the Guelph Griffins. I can only assume on the most southern side of zone. We might miss this fight, but as Goth did spoil, probably ends with Guelph either winning it and getting caught out of zone or UH holding the net. UT Tyler will walk away from this one. They will see that final rotation there from FSA, and you really want them to get this KP. Every single point counts, but it looks like it might be setting itself up for UCSD instead. UT Tyler could back rotate this to make sure they get that. Houston Red will be wiped out in the meanwhile there, but the Guelph Griffins likely going to die to the ring as time goes on. UT Tyler finally finds themselves, well, with the sightline, but not the gun skill necessary to get the job done. A single gas trap might as well mean nothing, because Full Sail Armada are just as quick to set themselves up ahead here. With Von Kuno taking that last bit of damage, they have to position themselves in zone. As a result, up to height, they'll land right in front of UCSD as UT Tyler will be flying in just as quickly here. UCSD will check in up on height. They miss out on at least that first 10. Instead, they've got this team right above them that they are going to have to contest against. Couple of nades back, and that will slow them for now. Lucian re-entering the Skynade, and UCF Knights from Contenders League already walking away from this fight. They have such a good spot for the end zone here. They don't want to get into a tussle with UCSD. Problem is, they are going to rotate behind them, mirror this play, and potentially wipe them out here. So there's that mobile shield leading for extra defense from those wall teams that could snipe you. And now they've got probably a nice line drive against UCF Knights. There's that final zone wipe against the Guelph Griffins. We are officially into placement. All right, here we go. UCF Knights, they can hear the UCSD roster just behind them. Couple of nades dropped in return. That Maggie ball is available, but there it is. A nice shot from Wall. That's the problem of holding this height. You have to be so vigilant. Meanwhile, a third team, an unusual foe. Someone has arrived here to top off the nut building. That ain't UCF Knights. That is someone else.
Enemy spotted.
UCSD Gold still hanging on to the low ground there. You can see that gas trap ticking down below. Meanwhile, PB and John from Full Sail Armada taking the fight against UT Tyler just down on the low ground. Ah, shit, man, we miss it. UT Tyler does wipe them out there up towards the north. Yep. UCF Knight's going to be pushed down. It looks like they might have been in that nut building, but still getting shot from all the way up on the zip line. We'll see how it goes.
Got another bandit.
Lewis is moving a lot, by the way. All right, Gamerhawks Navy. We see them up on this building here. Hawaii on the interior. Texas A&M Maroon, I believe, still on the outskirts. Hawaii gives themselves the first floor. Gamerhawks give themselves the height directly. If Texas A&M are in this building, they would be in the second floor, but I don't have that information. Meanwhile, Purdue, long-range knocks against, I believe, Penn State with the Craver. Actually, it ain't that long range. They're just alongside them there. A quick re-knock from Purdue on the other side as Texas A&M Maroon are going to be playing this corner here. We could see that Purdue-Penn State thing. Terrible. I'm a brother surrounded by white folks transferring back home somewhere Cali fall of 2026. All right. Well, there we go. Playing teams coexisting, but Gamerhawks Navy wants nothing to do with it. The ISU Farmers tries to work their way in, but are just as quickly found by Goose here. There's that Rolling Thunder extended out as CSUDH wants nothing to do with them. A quick rotate from the Farmers won't be found as they continue to slide down. Mystical Maverick finds the final remaining member of the Penn State Blue roster. I got bamboozled, by the way. That was Kamal sending out his copy. All right. Now, a couple long-range shots from CSUDH as they are going to be the dominant height team into this final zone. Farmers are not so far away from UCF Knights, respectively. Could all break out into a big fight there. Purdue Black did finish off their exchange against Penn State and did force them into the final fight against the Gamerhawks. So they get a couple of these clears, but they themselves don't have much of a solution ahead here. Iowa State Farmers, they got their reset off, but are just as quickly spotted by UCSD. A couple of exchanges and some long-distance shots. The UCF Knights want to finish this one out here. They know they have these teams like CSUDH up on high. Gamerhawks across from them. Problem is, with that invisible Mirage passive to get Farmers back into it, they're probably going to be a full three-man force. Bocek drop onto Illinois State. Hawaii with a double knock of 2. Illinois State potentially final moments from wall. Meanwhile, Farmers just trying to edge their way into some kind of fight here. That castle wall is so descriptive. Honk Yuffie brought down by a nade. Revives coming through from the Newcastle on the other side. And they will try for knock after re-knock. They have to bide their time against the gas, though. That forces Kamal down. And Group T and Asian Hulk Bro are really no better here. Asian Hulk Bro, the last remaining left alive. Yuffie going to stick this one out, but a quick re-peek from the low ground here means a full thirst comes through either way. That's it for Lucian. Illinois State Redbirds no better themselves here. Judge kicking just as quickly in the same scenarios. We'll say goodbye to the Farmers as Purdue, Waukee with the Craver finds the knock. UCSD Gold hangs on for free. Top 9 squads remaining. Texas A&M, Kaiser Navy. Goodbye to our open Illinois State roster. Back on the inside, Kaiser Navy is just above this, I believe, on the house, but neither of these two teams have quite a good idea of how they're going to get across here. Tyler does have that Valkyrie ultimate at any given point to potentially walk away, but remember, you're flying into chaos. Not much better to be said for UT Tyler themselves against Kaiser. Here comes Texas A&M Maroon out for the rotate, but finds himself in the face of a Sheila. Swifty is a little late here, and a good Nox gas grenade might give them the advantage, but they're just as quickly to rotate out. Trap up on high to give them zone control. Hare and Nava are trying to keep this healthy, but now they've been spotted out from behind. All these rotations need to come through. Swifty's just going to peek this. Up on height with a good angle. Finds Flesh, but no knock. There we go. There's the Newcastle down. But it is trade for trade against Hawaii. Double Flesh as Tamu worked their way in. Edge of zone. Never eliminated. Pair on the side for Hawaii. They won't get Gerald, but they will take flight here to keep their dreams a-chugging. UT Tyler quickly pinned off. Kaiser Navy, the last team from the south, to keep this one going. They're going to be gate kept. Meanwhile, Purdue Black up on high. CSUDH Cardinal. We talked about them playing from height here. They might lose out on one. The gas might hurt, but they still finish the job nonetheless. Just as quickly, though, the mirrored situation is ready as rain to punish. It is at least a return knock. Hawaii as a duo here, trying to keep the dream alive. Kai is sussing this out and does find that even with the shield swap, they're going to be knocked down. Hawaii going to keep playing this from height here. The Gamerhawks Navy finish off a very weak UCSD roster on their climb up, and we're down to our final 4. UCF Knights just as quickly trying to finish off this fight. The worse they take this, though, the more likely we might see that third party from the side there from the Gamerhawks Navy. That's why UCF Knights are just taking their time. Did Tamu get ult off? They did not. They got a Nox gas grenade, but I don't see what else happened. Hawaii, no reset onto Cole. Might not have had the safety to do so. It is just Kai as a solo here, and that is going to be, even with height and play, super hard to pull off here. Hawaii still, though, trying to respond up in time. The UCF Knights have a distinct advantage as they are the highest roster, and Gamerhawks Navy are going to beam out the UCF Knights the minute, or sorry, they're going to beam out Kaiser Navy the minute they have to come through. Couple shots up above. Kaiser Navy have taken to the height here. This actually might win them the game. Here's the thing. With Hawaii down to a single remaining member, Kaiser Navy have guaranteed themselves height. Now, don't use that castle wall. Save it for a bit longer here. 460 crash. In a moment of we were going to win the game, I think 460 crash. All right, they might get that reset off, though. So, yeah, no, Kaiser Navy do get that reset off. There we go. Better castle wall, up on height. Still, though, I don't like that mobile shield that early there. They have a lot of time to make this work, and Kai is just a solo. They don't know that, though. All right.
Scan this area.
Gamerhawks Navy on one side, UCF Knights on the other. A quick Valkyrie ultimate will give them their opportunity to thrive, but here's the problem. Where do you go? Where do you land? A single remaining member of Hawaii becomes the target of many here. Up to the sky, you'll see Hawaii fly, and it's just a single bare box that keeps them in the game. Kaiser Navy, now with UCF Knights on their back, are just one bad climb up from the Gamerhawks on the other side. They're going to try to hang on to both angles here as they find two against the UCF Knights. Still, tick for tick, they finish the job. Kaiser Navy, a full three-man force, and the Gamerhawks still stuck up down below. A quick fly from the Valkyrie results in nothing there. And it's going to be 460 hanging on. Kai has managed to work their way into the top three. The Gamerhawks Navy now, a quick reset. They got their first drop. They found their second. You may have Newcastle, but you can't find the win here. Congratulations to the Gamerhawks Navy for the Game 1 dub. Someone's got to tell me in the kill feed. Did Hawaii get that first knock on Kaiser? I would not be surprised if Hawaii stepped out there and got a little bit of that re-knock or punished some of the health, and that's why we saw that first knock. Sever, do you think this zone is better for edge teams or Prio? Well, Zeus, whatever. I like Prio. I'm a bigger fan of Prio there. And, I mean, let's check it. University of Hawaii Cascades, that's heavy Prio. Kaiser Navy Command Center, that is heavy Prio, right? There is going to be a distinct difference from Gamerhawks as they were super far south in Coastal Camp, but they had a very well-timed late Valkyrie ultimate that guaranteed them their success. Even teams like Hawaii, or even teams that we saw on the outskirts, UCSD were into the end game, Texas A&M Maroon were in the top 9, Purdue Black made it pretty far, etc. So let's take a look at that score line. The first thing I want to check, as for always, as we shift to some beautiful blue, apparently, is that quality score. I don't know why we are 0.01 below where we need to be, but a 9.99 is exceptional. Congratulations to those of you who bet the over. You had common sense. The first game is always definitively the best of the best here. As a result, is it a full lobby? It is almost a full lobby. Their IUP Crimson had to play as a duo. And a couple more did. Presso, our friend from Oklahoma. There we go. Lewis is actually full in the cam now. Yeah. W quality as good as it gets. But here's the thing. You asked me Prio, you asked me Edge of Zone. A big success for a lot of those late rotating teams working to their advantage was the Valkyrie. You know, playing from that ultimate, trying to make that count, especially late into these games to find a place of priority. The Valkyrie's huge, and that's going to be banned going into this next game. Now, point defense is still strong. Caustic, Newcastle, Rampart, they're all going to be the pick of the poison going into this next match. But if you don't prioritize your rotate, preferably with now things like that Wraith going to step up, that Ash going to step up, etc., you might get caught out here. Let's get a prediction going. New prediction, over, under 5.5 KP for our winners of Game 1, the Gamerhawks Navy. Now, here's the thing for the Gamerhawks. It isn't sunshine and rainbows for this roster. You still have quite a bit of time ahead of you. If they poop out here for the rest of these games, they could just as easily find themselves eliminated. 22 is not secure. Prediction on the next ban, Caustic. Caustic, no problem there. Stats, let's take a look at it. Legend pick rates, Caustic was the second highest picked. There you go, Caustic's the ban. And it's not how that works, but it will always be Caustic, right? Top 10, move on. Yes, so if you are just joining us here, because I know we got a large share of people coming in, this is Octane Collegiate. We have 3 divisions in Octane Collegiate: Premier Division 1, Contenders Division 2, and Open Division 3. They have combined this last weekend into a massive bracket to decide the top 20 for a prized match point finals on December 7th. Right now, we are looking at the very last lobby before semifinals A and B. Top 10 move on. Top bottom 10 are eliminated until stage 2 next spring here. So the stakes are on. This is the biggest break we'll get as we go into Thanksgiving, but we still got 5 games before we can rectify that. Let's jump back in. Here's a little love to Lewis. Oh, he's shifted. He's shifted just a little bit. There he is. A little curled up baby. Get your predictions in. 5.5 KP for the Gamerhawks Navy. Did you see the clutch up yesterday? I did not. I was watching. Sorry, DC. I was watching the lower bracket the entire time. But hey, if you got a good clip, send it my way. There's Lewis. Safe and sound, sleeping away. Here you go. Let's jump into game 2. We reintroduce the action here in Storm Point. Now, early last game, we saw the Guelph Griffins send it on the Utah State Goats in Cenote Cave. You get that early advantage on the Trident, as well as the push there, so we'll see. I was just curious on his opinion. I know, but my opinion has aura. That's right, Schmalz. Schmalz is like #2 content creator in the collegiate scene. Tell me I'm wrong.
Optics here. Mid-range.
There's numero dos.
Optics here.
There you go.
Mid-range.
Damn right. There you go. Does it mean Minnesota's good? Does it mean Trev Michi's gonna absolutely have a shit fit in the middle of a game day? No idea. We went from 17th to 6th in like 1 game. Okay, congratulations. Let's go USU. I'll say this, by the way, faster. Because the Guelph Griffins get that off in game 1, they probably don't reapproach it the exact same way, right? Because they got the jump on Utah last time around. Utah is ready and waiting for them. The rotate from Bean into Cenote isn't bad, but if I was a team who was making a smart decision, I wouldn't put all my eggs in that rotation basket. Now, IUP Pennsylvania Crimson, we saw this from them this last game. They know that ISU Farmers wants to send it to them up towards Zeus, so they quickly rotate down towards the wall here. Ever, still keeping a little bit of a line track. It is a 2v3 exchange. Man, if I was IUP, I'd be playing this maybe a little bit tighter. Here we go. Is Trev still playing? No. Who took Trev's spot? Is it WYND? Whatever. All right, fights galore. Let's take a look at as this goes. A 2v3 situation for IU Pennsylvania Crimson can only result in failure, but a confident drop down could be the difference maker. Guys already pinned back there with a bit of help. RE45 is TTV, awful yo guys, has to walk away from this one, but really, they're just biding their time for the best possible craft. B-Rays back down there to the low ground, and IUP Crimson is already trying to see if they can maybe work their way out. Quick rotates down below. Them taking their time to try to stick what is that cell, but just as quickly exchanged upon. Now the push from Ever results in just about nothing. A quick phase towards the outside, and you know Penn State will get the job done. Here is the crazy thing. IUP is smart enough to leave Zeus Station, but they're not smart enough to walk away from that fight. What are you doing? Come on. And Minnesota Grav or WY Wind. I assume it's Wind. Hey, I think
Might be something good this way.
I think Gravity is phenomenal, and he's definitely got it at the ready, and we'll see how Wind can build into it. He's our OG. Interesting aggression? Yeah, I don't know what we're doing there. I'm fixing my hair so I can't hear the game. Why? Because it feels bad. All right. Purdue, by the way, facing a knock at the hands of the UCF Knights. Meanwhile, Hawaii, Iowa State Red, all of them sharing this space on the outside of Barometer. Remember, Barometer, if it is our pick of the poison for the POI today, this is something that can hold and house so many teams. Typically, it's around that round 4 close that we see the biggest exchange here. Now, Hawaii, they'll be potentially assaulted upon, but, I mean, when you're working with a Newcastle Rampart, you're probably safe. I do want to shout out the fact that a lot of these teams, like I said, the minute they drop the Valkyrie, so quick into playing the Wraith. Is this pulling south or no? I'll let Schmalz answer that one because personally, I have not seen the map long enough. State Red, Suarez with the absolute drive there. It ain't a golf ball, but it'll still find its hole. Sadly, a little too much safety. Map ping again. Yeah, we'll try to look at the map between the zone closes. Yeah, it'd have to be zoomed out, but ooh, this is a south-south barometer probably. This can sometimes back up towards the very, very north side, that C-toe rotate, but this can be that very southern finish where you have all those houses available where Utah State Goats and Gamerhawks Navy are, right? Ever do one of those TikTok things where you get Lewis to predict who wins Collegiate? He doesn't move that much yet, guys. When he starts moving a little bit more, maybe we'll do it. Yeah.
We should go here.
Utah State ring.
Hurry,
Utah State
attack
do
here.
have the definitive spot to work with. Problem is, Gamerhawks Navy, our winners from game 1, are just as smart about it. They are going to be able to position themselves in this building out ahead here, and with those caustic gas traps, should be fine. A little bit of a kind of pseudo-mirrored comp there. Only difference is Benton is playing the altar. We do see the altars really start to rear their head the minute the Valkyrie goes away. A team like Gamerhawks Navy, not going to be making much use out of it yet as a result of the probably distinct pull that was played a bit. So, yeah, very good push off from the USU Goats, like you're saying, faster. In the end, they're probably just going to share a lot of this. Curious to see how the rest goes. Meanwhile, charge rifle from Blank. Could look for more. Blank is going to get aggressive on there. So that's a long-range sky nade. I don't know if they found cracks upon it. Sheila in hand, and we're going to try to clear this one out. Up against the wall there. They know they already got that revive off. Knack slowing the squad just a little too small. A little too slow. Here's the problem. When you are playing heavy point defense, 1, pushing into these exchanges is hard, and 2, you don't have a really quick rotation option here. Even still, the Utah State Goats just as quickly find themselves at the hands of UH, and that costs them their game. Houston Red sees the move and comes up behind them here. Left themselves out of position. Oh my God. That is rough. Meanwhile, squad that you've seen me talk hide nor hair about. Penn State Blue here right alongside Texas A&M Maroon, who will walk in particularly late to Barometer. I will say, if there's a zone and in the game that you can walk in late to, it is a Barometer finish. Penn State Blue, though, maybe they'll realize they're at the chase of Texas A&M Maroon here. A couple 30-30s, and we saw that triple take a little bit earlier on. Tamu's going to see if they can try to angle them out. Little scan. Able to find out that this fight is a secluded 3v3. Texas A&M can approach this with full confidence, but, well, not at the cost of damage like that. You can hear that Mad Maggie drill just as dangerous. There we go. Penn State tracking this one out, but those shots need to land if they're going to push Texas A&M back. They're going to just slowly walk up on this piece by piece against your fence line here. Penn State up on roof. Also hard to eclipse there. Well, Texas A&M Maroon, they opt against it. Notably, I will say for the teams that aren't into position yet, a lot of these central spaces of Barometer are still available. Guelph Griffin's going to take themselves on a whittle drive here down the middle. Zakara, Future Streams, and Plum Toaster are well, able to sniff out where some of these rosters are, but ultimately are going to position themselves in the heart of Barometer. UT Tyler is on that opposite side. As someone born and raised in Austin, it's tough to root for Texas A&M, but I gotta respect them. Always gotta respect Texas A&M. I think they've had a lot of growing pains without Fiddle Dude and without a coach this semester. So no coach, no Fiddle Dude.
Let's relocate there.
Naber's phenomenal. He is a CVAL champion, but hey, being a CVAL champion doesn't mean you are success. Middle Dude, yeah, say that with real confidence, bro. Middle Dude is not. Fiddle Dude was a GOAT. That man was an immaculate IGL in Collegiate. I mean, honestly, I'd love to see him play amongst a lot of these folks. Future Streams is a demon. He's a demon, but he carries trash alongside him, and that is a heavy thing to do. Your forearms get a little tired. So, we'll see if the Guelph Griffins can pull it off. I was just going to say that about Naber. Yeah. ISU Farmers, by the way, not far from this equation here. Oh my God. We might be having Premier versus Premier. Texas A&M Maroon and Farmers, the only two teams other than Penn State out of the zone. They might not have the biggest exchange, but they do spot out Farmers on that rotate there. Naber gets a little bit of a shot, and you can only make an assumption that this could be the Iowa State roster. I mean, shot for shot, these two teams can take it towards each other fairly confidently. And I won't even say it's much of a race because Jurassic is still so heavily in here, but ISU Farmers are going to represent with the better height advantage here against Texas A&M. Someone say, so the backpacking department. That is true. That is true. All right. Texas A&M Maroon trying to look for any kind of access to the ISU Farmers that they can, but remember, you are working into Group T. You are working into Kamal. You are working into a roster that knows it all. The Farmers here. Put down the fork and pick up the rake. Here they come. Asian Hulk Bro and Kamal have out-positioned them out towards this building here in the fence line. But Texas A&M Maroon are just as healthy. Here's the thing, for either one of these rosters, take their time. What's the background on Swifty playing path? He likes it. Controller player at that, but he does distinctly like it. Here comes Pear, though. First push on the assault. Building taken back there. The nade doesn't quite land the way it needs to. 17 found for Pear, and that's not how you want this to start off. Even still, ISU playing for recovery. Behind the boxes, and Naber blocks the first shot of the Mozambique. Flesh found. Pear is missing just about everything. No hit fire, no damage. Texas A&M Maroon are washed. They're washed.
Enemy spotted.
Oh my God. I'll tell you right now, that is a heavily mental-oriented team. I'm going to be honest with you. That right there might have just broken their game day. Yeah, they missed the Kamal Mirage. They try to punish out, I believe, Asian Hulk Pro there, and it really just doesn't matter. Either way, Iowa State Farmers, like I said, the late rotation into Barometer is always available. And there they are. Penn State Blue from the edge of zone, by the way, the other squad that was rotating here. They out-survived Texas A&M Maroon, but the other ISU roster might be pushing against them here. Big damage from up on high. Soars with one, not Koryu with another. ISU's not going to commit towards the low ground. You can hear those reses coming in. You have to wonder if the buildings on the outside are going to play this the same. Awful, you guys, is just trying to build this one up every step of the way, but he's doing it on top of an incendiary grenade. Kaiser Navy from the inside. They've already got themselves set up and are trying to finish up this KP. ISU represents with the majority of it, and now there's just one remaining member left alive, and it ain't the Newcastle. Big damage on the play. A push from Kaiser Navy here as that res means nothing. Penn State Blue punished for their later rotate. They probably could have contested that building. Now, Georgia Tech Navy going to do the same. That knocks gas grenade. It's a good commit, and it gives them the interior of the lower ground floor. But it doesn't find any purchase on Kaiser Navy. Now, I said this was going to be a southern pole. I was wrong. We're heading out east. That means that Central Spire for ISU Red, it won't win you the game, but it'll keep you into the top 5 here. You also get the double stack on all those buildings. UCF Knights and the Farmers, they're the squads on the eastern outside. Farmers quickly moving to try to play into it. They got that Asian Hulk Pro port play. The same can be said as Hawaii could be looking here. CSUDH tried to move in. Now, Illinois State Redbirds, UCSD, Purdue Black, UT Tyler, none of these squads have made their way into zone here. And teams like RIT Black are so quick to hold on tight. There's UT Tyler, a port play to give them their next space forward. But just as quickly as I say that, they're going to have to protect from the backside. UCSD Gold just as quickly. Looks like Kaiser Navy puts a bullet down on Asian Hulk Pro, and they're going to try to peek outside here, see if they can get the rest of the Farmers. Problem is you can't peek too far. ISU Red hilariously protecting that Farmers reset on the exterior. Kaiser Navy trying to see if they can get a little bit of an advantage on Georgia Tech Navy below. Georgia Tech did lose out on Tiger Shrimp entirely. Houston Red, Guelph Griffins, Purdue Black, UCSD still nowhere to go in zone. Our winners from last game, the Gamerhawks Navy, make a choice decision, and they find themselves in the heart of damage here. Nowhere to go, nowhere to run. 2 members down. Kaiser's trying to peek this one out to maybe third party the action, but it isn't really that much to be said. Even still, Vidra is moving. Beams are booming. A quick Newcastle means nothing as Georgia Tech Navy does go down at the hands 2v3. Group T is spoiling it for me. Group T with a knock on to Vidra. The ISU Farmers here. Navy window for window as the reset comes through. A mobile shield will give them time to reset, but not before they lose out on another. Still though, group tie. Molly Cubs, Asian Hulk Pro, they're going to pull this one out. Group T is already down here as Kaiser Navy gets this reset. I would have liked to see you guys send it. No spoilers though, Group T. Down in the middle is QH Red from the outside. No much better survivor themselves. So many teams playing around the Central Spire of Barometer here. You've got to make this count. It is going to lose out almost in its majority. ISU Red might be able to barely hold on from that height.
Camp out over here.
We'll see how it goes. Purdue Black on the outside. Farmers finished off by the Guelph Griffins. Future Streams picks up the duo. Gamerhawks Navy, they're going to eclipse what was that old Georgia Tech Navy position. Shout out to the UCF Knights, by the way. One of the few squads still playing the Eastern outside. 11 squads remaining. And we're about to break into so much of the KP here. ISU Red, they have been a beamer on so many of these low ground teams, and they might pick up a couple of extra more. Remember, the height of these buildings still very playable, but they're not playable until the very end. It's usually the Spire team, ISU Red, who gets advantage to take that spot away there. So we'll see how it goes. UT Tyler quickly moving into the low ground here, just alongside the Guelph Griffins. Immediately a knock onto Ann. There's, we accidentally pull away. Come on. RIT on the inside. They don't have to make a move for now as we lose out on our coverage. This is the Guelph Griffins still playing for success against UT Tyler. We don't have the names as I don't know what happened. We broke spec. Something happened.
Energized castle wall here.
Well, HUD may be down, but we finally get it back. Guelph Griffins, they're not much of a benefactor. UT Tyler does go down in that exchange. Guelph's going to have to hang on for dear life. 4-team stack here on the edge. Utah, Kaiser Navy. Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. All right. Well, Purdue Black will inevitably be finished off there. Or no, Purdue Black will be able to finish them, get their res off there from the low ground. Meanwhile, UCSD Gold trying to stick their own revive here towards the north side of zone. Got themselves a little bit of safety, but so many of these teams in the building ahead have to figure out this rotate. Guelph Griffins, Future Streams just going to try to pick up where he can beam. One final remaining member, a leap into the edge of zone, and a shield reset isn't anything. Still finds the knockdown onto ISU Red's Soares here. Meanwhile, Kayak with a re-knock down onto Jehu. Final remaining member of RIT Black picked up as the ISU Red squad does drop down. Meanwhile, UCSD Gold, my apologies, were the finishing fight there. 8 squads remaining. My question is, where's the UCF Knights? All the way out on the outside. They've got themselves a very, very good spot to play into finality here. Yeah, UCFD Knights, very, very good, unless they get full send. Is lobby quality just better, not in Premier? Well, yeah, you don't have inters. All right, UC San Diego making their way down to the low ground there. They'll push out future streams for now and might be pushing into UCF Knights. The Kaiser Navy squad does put themselves up above as Trauma finds one. Iowa State Red has no height to their name, and Kayak is found out. 6 squads remaining, and Hawaii has found the ire here of the Kaiser. Stuck behind the box and already compromised by UCF Knights there around the backside. Kaiser are going to bide their time for as long as possible on this building, but remember, they are stacked. They do have a team below them here in Gamerhawks Navy. Hawaii looking for an exchange. Purdue playing small. There's that full thirst on the Kai. 1 remaining member of Hawaii. Phase found by UCSD. UCSD's taking the fight against UCF Knights. UCSD, this is the big moment of the game there on the outside. Slow climb up and a rotation from the back. The Knights will be wiped out here. Now they don't have height to their name, but Hawaii will be eliminated just as quickly. Purdue Black on the bridge line here. Now in the face of the UCFD Knights. They give themselves a castle wall to work with. Meanwhile, up on height, the Gamerhawks Navy are wiped out by Kaiser Navy. UCSD below. Purdue Black below. A climb up from Purdue Black, and that's going to give UCSD Gold the opportunity to clean up there. That's it for Kaiser Navy. A swing onto Purdue Black as the Newcastle Reds is just 1 click away from the dub. UCSD Gold, a late game reset, and a dub in game 2. Congratulations to the UCSD roster. For those of you who have never heard of them, they are pretty damn good. They come from Premier League and notably were, I believe, a top 10 team from Premier League. So the fact that they're here at all is a question. Let's jump on back over the scoreboard while we have the time. Of course, we start with predictions right off the bat. Manager predictions. I asked y'all 5.5 KP for the Gamerhawks Navy coming out of game 2 here. They walk away with only 1. They may survive all the way into the top 4, which gets them their 5 placement, but they don't do it with any KP. Congratulations. Let's get our next prediction while you guys have the time before we get into game here. Over under UCSD. They start with 10. They also have 5. Let's do 5.5. All right. UCSD Gold. Over under 5. 2 minutes to go since we are jumping in pretty quick. Fisher and Cumberland have an aggression problem. Sorry, I got caught. I'm getting caught on my wire. Guys, I'm choking. I'm dying. All right, there we go. He's talking about muffins and Jose. Yeah, I mean, yeah, whatever. All right. Anyways, UCSD Gold with the dub. Get your bets in to see if they can continue their chunk of aggression there. 22 points, though, is still a tied for the highest point game. A big return for Purdue Black, though. 9 KP in their own exchange. The same for the Guelph Griffins. They finished their game out in 8th place, so their 9 KP is absolutely bringing them forward here. There's Kaiser Navy. Hawaii survives, and a bit of a mix-up. Azarol, your overall standing. UCSD Gold does position themselves into the top 3. Kaiser Navy hang on with some immaculate placement, carrying them 2nd and 3rd place. A beautiful sight to see. Gamerhawks Navy, they're in 3rd, do finally drop down as Purdue Black makes the jump themselves. And already, guys, we are having quite a bit of a lead sustained here by these top 4 rosters. None of them are safe yet, but it is pretty distinct. All right, we'll see how it goes. Whew. Couple of teams on the low ground. IUP Crimson from Pennsylvania struggling. Goats have not been able to get their start off. Premier League Full Sail Armada struggling. Texas A&M Maroon 21st in Premier League this semester. Unable to get their start, even with Swifty back into play. We'll see if they can turn around. The same for Premier League, Georgia Tech Navy. Penn State Blue from Contenders. There's Illinois State Redbirds from Open. And there's RIT Black, Houston Red, and Iowa State Red to round out your top there. And still, I will say, with 4 games on the board, you have plenty of time to fix this. But you can't waste all of it. If you love your Storm Point, if you love these drops, this is your last opportunity to do so. Goss Vendetta's not going as planned. Yeah. Here's a little Lewis check before we get into game. There he is, sleeping peacefully. Look at him go. Yeah. He's okay. If you want to fund, Lewis, are you feeling with a milk dropper? Yeah, we have a little, I get a little milk bottle. So, mix it with a little bit of formula there and, make it now. Hey, thank you so much, Waffles. He's 2 weeks old, Zany Pigeon. Waffles, thank you so much. I am Prism, Goku Siege, Zansa Int, a Singular Frog, and Kindly Monkey. And you're right. It's a nice round number. Hey, only 300 subs away for, I don't know, fulfilling the Lewis Fund. Hey, anything helps. This is how I make my living. This is how I live my life. Thank you so much, you guys. And Lewis thanks you too. If Lewis is big enough by playoffs, we'll have some Lewis predictions. How about that? That's what the fund's for. We'll have some Lewis predictions. Zephyr, do you think a 3-3-3 is better than a 2-2-2 for maps in a 6-game series? I like a 2-2-2. I like the flexibility of seeing what teams can do on different maps. And sometimes in a 3-3-3, you'll get a repeat pull, and that can skew things a little bit. It gets a little bit more flexible on a 2-2-2. And it's more fun to watch, too. I like seeing a lot. Speaking of which, in Japan, Olympus apparently will be played here, so expect to start seeing Olympus in competitive. Not just in, of course, Japan, but maybe even in Collegiate. Meanwhile, we joined into the heart of action because I don't like playing no slow shit here. Georgia Tech Navy, unable to catch this one out, though, as just as quickly we see that port play. Tiger Shrimp, by the way, yes, you are seeing it. The man's on Octane. The juice is flowing, and the speed is going. ISU Red do get out of dodge there and will be safe for the time being. Take a look at the bare minimum of that zone, and
enemy spotted.
We'll see how things go. What the F? What? What? Is it the Octane? Or is it me? Some people feel like they gotta live up to the name. The Cougars, maybe back in their den for a little bit while longer. CSUDH Hills from Contenders League do put some good damage out from afar here. 63 from Durango. The Sentinel shot beamed. Oh, Texas A&M Maroon with a knock on to Vonkuno. Texas A&M Maroon. That's a Volti knock. I'm a little Giga Maggie, so I gotta hype him up where it's due. Malicious knocked on Zwifty. Texas A&M Maroon. Oh my God. Top left. Top left. Top left. Please. 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 Ah! God damn it. Okay. Remember, my hands are tied. I think Texas A&M Maroon is dominating that fight. We might see our first team eliminated here shortly in Full Sail Armada, but shit. 2 KP's big. God damn it. Full Sail Armada was wiped out by Texas A&M Maroon.
How about we reposition over there?
Let's go over there.
Guelph just ratted me, so that's fun. Hey! Naxlo! Bad! No spoiler in chat! No spoiler in chat! I will sick Lewis on you, boy. And he will suckle you. And it tickles a lot. ISU Red in a fight of their own here. We'll jump on over to it. We saw UH make this rotate a handful of times. They were pushed away by CSUDH Cardinal. Now walk into the red roster. The pulse of the Sparrow ultimate slows them for the being, and the ripping ream of the Edge of Sheila finds purchase on not Koryu, but just as quickly, the rest of the team is there to reply. Alex will be full thirsted, and the rest of the Cougars have run for the hills for now. We need a dunce hat for spoilers. Hey, a small update for my subscribers since we are having it. We will be having the emotes be finished before next weekend. So we will have the static emotes finished. There are animated ones too, but those will not be ready. But static emotes will be available. So first subscriber thing. I got to come up with more subscribers. Community day. We should do a community day. I'll host like a community event night or something. Maybe have some good times. I need an extra tier 3 Lewis emote. Oh my god, I have to make Lewis emotes now. Ah!
Heads up.
Guys, emotes are expensive, especially good ones. Anyways, RIT Black. They'll finish the job on UCF Knights, but just as quickly, they'll face their own struggles behind. The drill will burn as Techie brings them low, but they don't get the knocks here. RIT Black, we're oh so close to facing a chunk of damage into the end. And meanwhile, a couple of bow check shots will push them away. If I'm UCF Knights in that building, I'm leaving. All right, I'm getting out of Dodge. I'm going towards a crafter. I'm fixing this. It isn't, though. This is Illinois State Redbirds from Open League, the last remaining Open League roster. They were pretty aggressive yesterday, but today have been struggling. Port play to get them out of safety as RIT are going to look to do the same. Judge has to be careful there. Yeah, that port is not to their advantage. It was tracked out really nicely. Gravics going to take just as much. What's Techie up to solo pushing a 1v3? Damage might have been slightly different in their exchange. Who knows? It's okay, just take a goofy picture of him and that'll do. I want cute emotes. I want cute emotes. I want trash emotes. I have 2 emotes right now and they both suck. They're awful. One is my logo, which I don't really like. And the other is a howdy that's way too squashed. Griffiths, thank you for the follow. Or Griffius, 19, thank you for the follow. All right, 19 squads remaining here. Thunder Watch underway. Iowa State Farmers have come to play. 18 squads left as we go to the map there. UCSD Gold. You didn't get to see it. I just saw it just barely blink away. They finished that fight in Cascade Falls. Meanwhile, future streams. My lord. We have been looking for Utah State GOAT success, and instead we find a knockdown. 2 members left alive. They'll be rotating through Sito Station, but are just as quickly they're gonna find themselves in a fight of their own. Hat? Hat? Hat what? Hattie? By the way, I'm gonna make spaghetti later. Literally means nothing to anyone who's currently here. I just want you guys to know that because I love spaghetti. And I make a really good mean spaghetti. Subscriber hat? What does that mean? Explain! We got time. We're in game 3. Ah, there you go. That's like a little Lewis from the Lakers. I like that. Very cute. If I get partner, I can finally name them something nice. I has hat now? Oh, you do! My apologies, you do! You've got a cowboy hat. And not just a 1-month cowboy hat. You got a 2-month cowboy hat. Going for dinner. We'll also be doing spaghetti. Hey, Masev, you're in game. Quiet. Spanking. Gamerhawks Navy, winners of game 1. They're going to look to spank the competition. Oh, but so sensually here. Reverse Dizzy, Benton. Already, though, taking just as much punishment in their own return. Call it BDSM. I call it behind the scenes. Gamerhawks Navy, though, going to be able to find themselves a bit of safety to get them some sensual loving as they pull off on this one. CSUDH, RIT Black, and Illinois State Redbirds really sharing the competition. UCF Knights here. Potentially looking for this exchange against Georgia Tech Navy. Contenders v Premier League. It doesn't mean much. The skill set can be oh so similar. Sloshy Medusa almost brought down by that nade. Even still, Georgia Tech Navy going to push ahead here. That is still Tiger Shrimp on that Octane. Space on space. They've already tracked this one out. A nice flick shot from Tiger Shrimp there. The kitty's claws are out. The teeth are teething. Breaks on that rampart wall to give them the access to the angles, but they still haven't quite found what they need. From behind, the first knock found on the phase, but the grab cannon. It's a solemn sound that lets us know that it's all done and dusted. Out towards the edge of the lagoon area, the UCF Knights will escape. University of Houston, by the way, playing a rat game down south there. The Guelph Griffins coming from Launchpad. ISU Red working their way up. Texas A&M Maroon from the west as we send a finish towards Stormcatcher here. Look towards Purdue Black. Blacked by Purdue. We'll see if they can eclipse the sun that be and send us into the darkness. Need one of those football X Teams remain graphic, but it's for open and only has ILSD if they qual. Dude, I would love to do more content. I got limited time here between stuff, so I'd love that. All right, Sloshy Medusa will be finally found there. It is by the Guelph Griffins. Plum Toaster is the one at that. So single remaining member for the UCF Knights as Guelph is going to walk this one potentially up towards ISU Red instead. They are the furthest team from zone, and they do not have a lot of rotation. You kind of only look towards future streams on a port play, but I don't know. I'll pay Jose in 1 beer to make it. It could. I mean, I can make it. My graphics aren't bad. If you haven't seen them on Twitter, they're not terrible. All right, here comes the Farmers to Cole the Weak. They'll find a massive chunk of damage out below, and a quick peek from behind the mobile shield will find Asian Hawk Pro just as tough here. And State Blue, though, they are the target. Massive and red. Crops to be fed. They walk right into the Farmers. Kamalia Cubs. Already down one, and now Newcastle Revive on the other side. They'll finish the knock on another there as they get the re-knock on TTV. You awful guys. The ISU Farmers finally take a solid and successful fight. Meanwhile, Texas A&M Maroon, a single final remaining member of the UCF Knights, found there in those last remaining moments. Now, we do talk about this zone. I like Purdue Black. I like Kaiser Navy. Making your way to that high ground, if you aren't already there, can be so aggressive. Anyone know the total amount of open teams? It is only Illinois State Redbirds. We are down to just Illinois State Redbirds. All right, and in terms of contenders, there are currently 7 contenders teams in this lobby. Is that for forgetting the fight against Tamu last game for Farmers? I ain't forgetting the fight, brother. It's trauma. I'm blocking it out. All right, Texas A&M Maroon, though, we'll tune in with them as they find at least the smoke nade down. It's not really damage, but it is space. RIT Black will be wiped out by Hawaii in the meanwhile. Texas A&M are trying to fight this one forward. Tamu versus the Gamerhawks. Swifty with that opposite angle from the port play. Naver looking just as much as well here, but they have to get the job done. Up to the edge, the corner to work against there. Already drops the Sparrow ultimate, and it will find a bit of success, but it's right into the face of another Sparrow. Remember, the longer this fight takes, the more teams like Houston, Georgia Tech Navy, and the Guelph Griffins will come to play. If Texas A&M starts this off and it isn't completely healthy, Guelph will finish the job. That Sparrow ultimate forces them back here. Mystical Maverick low, Benton just as much. Pair with a PK knock. A quick beam for Revickson, and the Gamerhawks Navy are wiped out. Texas A&M Maroon with a quick shield swap. There's Georgia Tech Navy. The next roster they might have to eclipse there. A quick scan as a leap across the fence line might leave Nav with his fence down, but it's a big beam from the return of Swifty around the edge of the rampart. They will find Flip eliminated. Meanwhile, though, they are low here. Quick peeks and a beam, and at the end of the day, third parties are too mean. Georgia Tech Navy just as quickly going to be the next target of action. It is the USU Goats who finds the knock, but just like the Guelph Griffins, they're always here to play. Georgia Tech Navy, next fight to fall, and USU Goats, probably not much better themselves here. They have such a distinct disadvantage, and I can't even imagine they're a full 3-person force. Guelph will look for this. No, they do have all of the squad there. Meanwhile, ISU Farmers, we check in with them just barely on the edge of zone here. Tracked out by UT Tyler. Group T makes the move, though, on to the Illinois State Redbirds. Big success for them. University of Hawaii, hearing the shots, are going to try to third-party the exchange. Here we go. Just as quickly, though, they are back towards the edge. They do not get as much success as they would have wanted. And, well, UT Tyler just as quickly going to see if they can finish the job. Started by the Farmers, finished by the Tyler Esports roster. They'll get that full thirst on Revickson, which will end up in the bank house of the Farmers. Farmers moving in just as quick, though, seeing that exchange from UT Tyler to see if they can catch them out. But Group T, he whiffs the shots when he needs them most. Back on the inside, though, the window comes in clutch. Group T with one. Another big burn is Lush found. He's calling for it. He's saying, send him, send him, send him. Kamal into the inside, sticking the Phoenix hit. A peek from Asian Hulk Bros. A knock goes on to Ann. Potentially one final remaining member here against the Tyler squad. Behind the knockdown shield, they will find Group T down. And no one is there to punish. Hawaii takes their time. They're looking at Illinois State Redbirds instead, who, by the way, down to one remaining member here as they breach the top 8. I don't know if it'll be enough, but end of the day, someone's got to die here. I want to point out, by the way, Stormcatcher distinctly about to be on its final moments. Kaiser Navy currently has advantage. Meanwhile, Guelph Griffins try to see if they can make an exchange up to height there to play for a bit of an advantage. You don't want to be stuck on this low ground for long. A lot of teams are going to make a big trying leap. Maybe the Guelph Griffins can set themselves up, Sheila nades, but instead find themselves in the face of their own explosive potential here. I see Red taking their time. Curious to see what contenders teams get through. I'm not seeing the CSUDH chrono. Yeah. Oh my God. I can't believe that ain't a kidnap for Purdue Black. Up on height. They are the team above. Now remember, we got a lot of alters here, so that isn't always a good team thing. With very limited space left alive, could be bad. Meanwhile, ISU Red, man, they barely give me the chance to cast it. It is a massive boon of a beam. Purdue Black, though, Joaquin's walking in here, trying to see if he can make his own sort of success. Even still, though, Iowa State Red accidentally, Kayak accidentally goes down below. I don't think that was on purpose. Oh, no. Corey, you don't spoil a damn thing. Purdue Black from up on high. Oh, ISU Red down to their last members left standing. Game is over, Chud. Not on stream, it is. Be quiet. I will sick Lewis on you so aggressively. All right. ISU Red, we're in such a good position, but they lose out on a one. Guelph here in their own exchanges. Those ports are trying to come through. Like I said, those we're going to go down to the low ground. We're going to play for space. Someone else's bub is out in front here, and I can only assume, I don't know who put it down, but in the end, ISU are going to commit. Newcastle Ultimate be the edge of the bank. That's it for Soares, but UCSD Gold are still found. Not Koryu, the last remaining, is able to at least reach the top 5. Iowa State Red finally picked apart by Hawaii with a darn good angle. You still have the ISU Farmers Premier level, Hawaii Premier level here. Guelph Griffins from contenders, and more there on the edge. I believe it could be Purdue, if I'm correct. All right, here comes Guelph Griffins to make the exchange to the outside. Same to be said for the University of Hawaii. You got to imagine they'll look for space. The problem is Hawaii, I didn't even notice this, they're not much better themselves. They're struggling on the very edge of that zone. Now, ISU Farmers has a lot of space to their name, but they're going to have to give some back up. Kamal spending the ultimate there to make sure he gets the very successful climb back up into play. Couple of shots. They still have height to their name. This should be a Farmers dub. Guelph Griffins down below. Not much better to say for the University of Hawaii here. They're going to try to see if they can shore this one up right alongside them. But now you got Hawaii, Purdue, and Guelph all on the low ground. Guelph to finally commit over on the side. Purdue, first knock found from the edge of ultimates. They'll find re-knocks on Nicole. Hawaii down 2 members. Ports through the other side, right around the back, and everyone is falling here. A massive Gibraltar ultimate will keep them alive as Plum Poster drops that one down. But just as quickly, Purdue Black are finished. Farmers to the low ground. Farmers for the dub. Excellent. Excellent. And whether they like it or not, that's probably going to be a game that sends ISU Farmers ahead here to the semifinals. Congratulations. Group T. He turns it around. He says, I don't give a damn. And he figures this one out. Look at that roster, too, by the way. They're playing Wraith, Bangalore, and yes, Kamal is always on Mirage. Goddamn. Let's jump on over to the scoreboard. Of course, everybody, first thing I always like to check. Game 3, I asked y'all over under UCSD Gold. 5.5 KP. It is the under. Congratulations. There you go. Start one more prediction. This time, the ISU Farmers, they've had a 12-kill game, a 4-kill game, and a 3-kill game. We're going to keep it 5.5. 5.5 for the ISU Farmers, because realistically, we just don't know yet. We've got a bigger break, by the way, on this one. Still have not made our way into Game 4, so I am going to set this very long at 5 minutes. Get your bets in, over, under 5.5. So, Iowa State Farmers 24, they set the record today, 12 KP, but hey, not bad for Texas A&M Maroon, Iowa State Red, Hawaii, and the Guelph Griffins, 7 and 8s across the board there. They absorb like sponges the rest. Notably, it is going to be Texas A&M Maroon, who only picks up the 1 KP. The Aggies don't walk out of that game with as much as they would have liked, but it is a return. It is a return before E-District. Last dance type shit, hey. Well, here, I'll tell you what. With that game, Iowa State Farmers jump all the way up to 3rd place with 33 points. It ain't guaranteed. It ain't 100%. But ISU Farmers are almost 100% likely to make it here to the semifinals. UCSD Gold, they continue to perform. As a result, 5 extra points will put them up. Zephyr Goat. What is up, Brayden? By the way, small little shout out. I am going to be hosting my tournament, but before we get into it, as a little appetizer, I am going to be casting over Braden Michaels on December 14th. So hopefully a huge chunk of Apex content on December 14th for y'all to check out. So a very, very fun tournament alongside him. He'll be playing in it. I, of course, will just be doing the casting as just a fun Christmas festivity. And then, of course, we will work into, as you guys probably have heard, my draft tournament, December 13th and 14th. I'm still looking for signups, and I hesitate to say it. I'm thinking about opening it to former collegiate players. What do you guys think about that? Former collegiate players may be allowed. Anyways, great to see you, Braden. Let me keep the spiel going here. 36 players, or 36 points for UCSD Gold. Likely competitively successful to make their way into the top 10 there. 36 is that standard average of 6 points per game. Should be fine. Guelph Griffins and Iowa State Farmers only a click away, and with their aggression are likely just as secured. Of course. Thank you so much. I don't know how long the signups are open for, but I got to make sure I don't got work. Elixirs, keep it running, keep it gunning. What about future players? Let's see if we can get Envy in there. Send it her way. Send it to Envy. I think she would love to hopefully get introduced very kindly to the community. Of course, Purdue Black and Kaiser Navy and Hawaii are all tied at 32. Kaiser Navy finally takes a back seat for the first game member. Purdue Black continues to ramp. Of course, the Gamerhawks Navy continue to fall off. I said to you guys earlier today, even with a dub, you aren't guaranteed 6 points, and now a single one at that. If the Gamerhawks Navy continue to shit the bed here, they could be eliminated. Iowa State Red, UCF Knights, and CSUDH round out your top 10. It's a big return for squads here, most notably Texas A&M Maroon. They go from having a 0-point game to a 9-point at that. They are still not quite in it. We got 5 minutes till we are officially, or almost less than 5 minutes till we're officially in that lobby. Let's take a look at our drops going into E-District. The final 3 games of what could be 2025 for so many of these teams here. Of course, I mean, it really doesn't matter. Texas A&M Maroons and Viaduct. What do we got? Who else is low on the standings? UT Tyler, Georgia Tech Navy. UT Tyler, Blossom. Who gives a shit? Georgia Tech Navy, Humbert. Could be a good poll. Get some good Humbert polls there that can be big. CSUDH is on the cusp. They are in Dominguez. Boardwalk. We had double finishes in Boardwalk yesterday, so I mean, who knows? Luck could play their way. In the end, I think I'm not privy to a distinct love of any one of these POIs. I mean, we do have that potential fight against Kaiser, Navy, and Penn State in Stadium and Slums that we were talking about, but it isn't guaranteed. Aggressive teams like the Iowa State Farmers will be starting off against Texas A&M Maroon, so could potentially see that jump up. All right, guys. We got a little bit of time here. The bad boy, or the big boy. No, he's never a bad boy. Get your final bets in, by the way. 4.5K on the over for ISU. I can only assume that's Group T putting his own money up there. Yeah, Group T did bet on himself. Here's Lewis has opted. He doesn't want the light. He wants the warmth. He wants the darkness. There's the little baby. Just taking his time. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today, if I haven't said that already. And thank you so much for the, so far, 16 subs. It's massive. Oh, look at his little feet twitchies. Look at his little feet twitchies. You guys think he's running in his dream? You think he's climbing? What do you think he's dreaming about? Think he's dreaming about loving me, loving our friends? What do you guys think? I think he is. You know? He's your baby. I was 11 of those subs. You were? You were? All right. We're officially starting the server. If you still like seeing Lewis, he is up here. You have to get Lewis to cast with you for finals? Guys, I'm doing this just because it's very easy for me to set up, but I want to make it clear. He is in a separate room where he doesn't have to listen to Daddy yell, right? He is round the clock attention. It is I will say this, Apex is a perfect like 3-hour window for me to get him fed, do a little bit of the stream, and then yeah. And so I would love to have you guys enjoy Lewis and you know, play, etc. But I will say I am gonna wait till he is a little bit bigger. You know, right now he's just a cam shot. Eventually, when he is a bit bigger and he is, you know, I don't know, more kitteny, yeah, we can have a little bit of fun. All right, guys, E-District, the final map. Some of these players we'll see. 3 games to go. 10 will walk away. All right, and 10, well, will be on their way to semifinals. We'll see how it goes. To be honest, I need to get his analysis on loot paths. Lewis's loot path is sniffing around. Holy IUP is a solo. Yeah, it's you can't make every final, especially with Thanksgiving on the board for a lot of these players. It's just so. It does look like Rampart is that official ban as per usual. So expect to see things like the altar potentially next. Of course, the Watson really begins to rear its head on E-District in these moments. You see a massive control switch for a lot of these teams, and it's basically due to the map, right? A lot of buildings, a lot of play, zap, zap away. Tough times, rough times. You guys like Coke Zero? I love it. Ooh, now that is a pull and a half here. I'll be honest with you. We might be still working our way back towards Neon Square, but that is a freaky deaky pull, kind of heavily towards that southwestern side. Not a common one for a lot of E-District teams. Shout out to Texas A&M Maroon and the ISU Farmers here. Could be good for them. I will say, if I'm Texas A&M Maroon, I may not be walking into them that confidently. Utah State Goats, we saw them struggle up against the likes of future streams, the Guelph Griffins. This is going to be their big turnaround. Here we go. ISU getting zone. I bet they're pissed. Well, I'll tell you this, Boris. They already secured what they needed in terms of point scaling, right? So they're not going to be too mad, right? They're
We
not
can for
completely
target
screwed up.
practice.
Meow, 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 meow.
Eco harvester here.
All right. A couple of shots from UCSD. They faced early ends there, but now... Oh, it wasn't even... Guys, it wasn't even a fight. It was just the final remaining... It was the... I say final remaining member. It was the lol standing member of Iowa.
Let's reposition here.
Now, I like this from Texas A&M Maroon. They turned their attention to RIT Black there. A little fence line will slow them in their tracks, but RIT ain't that far away. Blind for the Nemesis.
Company out there.
Not enough for Texas A&M. Gonna have to work their way back down to make this cross into Shipyard. I like the choice not to run into the ISU farmers, but remember, they're still close. ISU could technically get into this. Hey, Partisi, I see you guys talking about it in chat. You guys think I should host my own Octane Award show? I get all dressed up. We do speeches, etc. Oh, I didn't tell any of the players, but I would love to talk to the winning team. An award show. The Octies. Yeah. Oh, Dad. That's good. That's good. The Octies. If I'll be honest, if ECAC let me watch a lot more, I would give them awards too. But I only got permission to watch ECAC this last week, so I'm only watching the finals for ECAC, and that is still questionable. They haven't replied to me, you know. But hopefully that's good content for December. We can host the Octies at Westland. Are you flying me out? You fly me out, we'll do a sponsored West Virginia Wesleyan Zephyr stream. Best new and improved collegiate org. Oh my God, West Virginia, they've won it. Holy shit, who would have expected? All right, deep in the zone, Hawaii has already arrived. Kaiser Navy, UT Tyler, and the Illinois State Redbirds. If people would show up for an event, I'd pay your travel. Problem is, you're in West Virginia, and there ain't a lot of Apex in West Virginia, and we are, of course, in the holiday season, so not big on that one. He says pay your travel. Travel ain't that expensive, guys. It's one flight. There could be nominations and player invites. I'd love that. I'd have so much fun doing like a real award show with players. But I'll put together an award show. Why not? That's a great idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that. We'll do my own Zephyr award show, and we'll make some fun ones. And then you guys can vote in forums. By the way, get better about filling out my forums and staying up to date with my notifications, guys. Join my Discord server. I'm going to start putting them in there because I have to message you guys all individually to get you to fill a form out. Come on. Come on. My Discord is getting notification rammed. Yo, Little! Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the family. Let's take a look. Plenty of shots were exchanged here, but Group T will start off what might be the first end of a roster in Street Market. Always fighting, always sending. There it is. All right, well, like I said, my hands are tied. We found it just a little bit too late. Looks like Kamal did go down in the exchange, but meanwhile, the Galoof Griffins long-range knocks on a Mystical Maverick here from the Gamerhawks Navy. Gamerhawks are relatively safe. Guelph Griffins want to keep putting up as much KP as they say. This is the Octi Ward, a Golden Octane, a Golden Octane Heirloom, or a Golden Nessie. I do have Golden Nessies. I could make you guys trophies. I'm very talented when it comes to crafts. Like, I'm extremely talented. Not to toot my own horn, but I am quite good at it. Already saved as the Rookie of the Year by a long shot. Well, he might be. I'll let you guys vote. All right. Plenty of teams hanging on for dear life. Sadly, Kaiser Navy will be that first team eliminated. VOD would count as Rookie of the Year. So would Serial Cat. So would Dom2 Cracked. And I wouldn't even say Rookie. I think Rookie of the Year I would do like first time ever playing comp. UCF Knights here. Trying to push for the building. So many teams have set themselves up here, and finally, UCF Knights have given themselves space, but it is above. We're led to believe that this is the Hawaii roster. There's a run for now. Hawaii doing a great job pushing them back. A Mad Maggie ball will mean just about nothing, but it is a good drill. Even still, Hawaii has the beams for days here. Flesh found, but Kai takes just as much in return. It's a tight opportunity. The UCF Knights are looking for it. There's the break on the fence line, and they're slowly working their way into the top here. Oh, Sloshy doesn't commit to that fence quick enough. The phase just takes just as much. Hawaii, a full force filled. And you have to wonder, where is the third-party exchange? Now, back down to the low ground. Gerald out in front. Grenades back, and Hawaii are going to keep playing this one slow, up on high.
Over there.
My God, it's tight. By the way, looks like we do see Guelph kind of finishing off the very last moments there of the Griffins. We'll tune into this as the Utah State Goats have their own exchange going on against Texas A&M Maroon. Remind you, not the observer. I'm not biased. Show what we're looking at. I love them. Gamehawks will be finished off by the Guelph Griffins. It was, by the way, just a single rat. There's the Rolling Thunder from Texas A&M. Navar's a little slow to this exchange. Skynade to start. I really hate when Pear leads these fights, but shit. That nade could mean it all. Trying to get up on height there. You can hear the exchange. Another break on the Wraith. There's the Rolling Thunder from Blank on the inside to slow this one down. Skynade after Skynade. Holy shiza. You have to turn this into something. Meanwhile, the ISU Farmers, as we jump on over, a 1v3 scenario. Asian Hulk Bull flow thirsted. It is just Group T left standing. A couple of beams. Flesh found there, and J-Hoop just as low. Ticks over on the edge as I accidentally burp because of my soda. And Penn State Blue have arrived to third party the exchange. Couple full thirst and one quick tap as the port play will get them to safety. Even still, though, V-Rays is just as quickly looking for this one. Out and around the back door. A knock onto J-Hoop. And Farmers have played for safety while RIT are down 2. But a long-range shot from Group T. Where is the man? Where is the maestro? Kamal's back in play. And Penn State have now become the change of changes. Big Flesh found. You might have to take that port. They're getting the respawn on Asian Hulk Pro, and I have no idea where that man came from. Literally out of nowhere. Penn State are trying to see what they can put together, but it is still a 2v3 against Kamal and Asian Hulk Pro, and they can do it. There's Asian Hulk Pro back in the exchange. Kamal utilizing that Mirage passive to his advantage to get some leading trades here. I don't know why we moved away from that fight. It was pretty darn cool. All right, guys, either way, RIT, ISU Farmers, both still in play. Looks like you got one hell of an exchange there down below. ISU Farmers looking to see what they can clean up. There you go, stuck with nowhere, up against the edge of wall. Group T up on high, Kamal just as much. Flesh bound, but a quick rotation from Asian Hulk Bros. Got to be damage where it counts. Newcastle resets coming through as Kamal will get the knockdown. A long-range burn from Asian Hulk Bro will eliminate Penn State, but just as quickly, the follow-through here. I don't even think that's a full thing. I think that's just a rat that's being mean. Kamal just as low, says otherwise, though. Full Sail Armada come through, third party the exchange, and I have to admit, I think it's from the altar teleport of the tactical. Malicious using that to get over the wall. This was the Penn State team talking shit to Kaiser? Apparently so. I didn't know that was a thing. So far, they haven't really fought. Either way, Kaiser was the first team eliminated, though, so what can you say there, Partisi? They're both kind of ass. Ass versus ass. They're both stinky poo-poo. Stinky poo-poo versus stinky poo-poo. I will say, Kaiser Navy ain't doing that bad today, though. They're currently top 5. So, they're not that stinky poo-poo. I'll stop saying stinky poo-poo, even though it makes me kind of happy. All right. Cut Penn State some slack. I'm pretty sure they're on, like, giga-scuffed PCs right now, but it is fun to watch. Oh, good to know. These lower bracket teams love talking trash, like Utah doesn't. That's an upper bracket team. Anyways, I'm just saying. There's a couple upper bracket teams that love talking just as much trash. Some will even dominate in scrims and then post it on Twitter. Anyways, Texas A&M Maroon fights for fighting. Haven't been much of a success today. Are actually in zone here. UT Tyler dive for the hero's launch. Juggler, a place of a corner to work with. Let's see how it goes. Houston Red, by the way, sharing just as much here. They're going to be popped back as Topher, the UT Tyler roster, actually finding himself a huge chunk of success with the Kraber coming in clutch here. They're going to get this hopefully on a full thirst as they work their way into the low ground, but Ann takes just as much on the backside. Mad Maggie Ball comes hurtling through here. The spherical orb of doom. And taking their time, getting themselves re-healed back up. RIT Black not far from this equation, because we do take a look at, yes, a continuingly weird pull here. CSU Dominguez dropping down to the low ground, and the Utah State Goats have nowhere to go but down. Zero placement. It doesn't matter if Guelph Griffins aren't near you, you're still getting screwed. Plenty of teams have a distance to cover. Texas A&M Maroon slowly walking across this POI. There's a lot of teams here, and they have to be careful. Even still, Techie down, and UCF Knights are going to play this one back. And EMP finds its response. That's it for Houston Red on the inside of this POI. I'm trying to get the name of it. My lord, sorry. Street Market. Meanwhile, Texas A&M Maroon finds them pierced with nowhere to go. Now, Nabber is down here, and while they will be successful on this fight, it could come at the cost of Maroon. Oh, shit, they lost on one. Nabber down is not where you want to be. 13 squads remaining, and RIT Black are already moving to be the Eastern Choke gatekeepers here. You have to hope there's a mobile res in play on the outside. You would be able to pull it off, and judging by his position as he's hanging on the very edge of that building, I think he does have a mobile respawn. All right, RIT Black, they're not going to play gatekeeper. Instead, they're actually going to guarantee themselves roof. That window is a high hell hello here. Can't believe it's barely anything for RIT Black to work with, but when you're playing zone, you're playing zone. They've got themselves space to work with. No revive for Tamu Maroon as we peek down south. The Illinois State Redbirds, though, by the way, double knocks against Purdue Black as we'll jump on over from nowhere to heroes. X, though, you can't let me fall failure on that. Purdue Black get the response in a return, and now are quickly third party up on height here. Trade for trades. They'll be beamed from all sides. Purdue Black, your 12th team eliminated. Georgia Tech Navy down below. UCSD Gold up on high. A couple of burns will push flip back here. Meanwhile, they're doing a great job punishing the edge. And what are we? Oh, we're teleporting away. Clutch on the day. Meanwhile, Full Sail Armada, long range, long bow knocks. Swifty gets a knock onto Ann against UT Tyler. It's a 2v2 situation against UT Tyler in the south. Meanwhile, UCSD Gold holding on for dear life. Here's the zip lines coming in. They're able to get the reset as Lucian was not the Newcastle. Georgia Tech Navy just as low here. Burns and ticks ahead. I mean, they're going to share this space quite aggressively. All right. Meanwhile, we have got a hell of a tussle here. You can hear that knock on RIT up above. That's a long-range one at that. Iowa State Red trying to move their way in, but getting choked from the other side. It's a beautiful 99, but UT Tyler, clown on him. Swifty here from Tamu Maroon just as quickly peeking around the back. They will be fleshed down. The Mad Maggie Ball will pressure them back, but UT Tyler will be drilled out here on the edge. RIT bide their time. UT Tyler wiped out here. RIT and ISU Red still inside this building. I can't believe not Koryu is, nope, dead, finally. Meanwhile, the Guelph Griffins coming into third party the exchange. Tamu Maroon has to be so careful here. Pear walking right into the Guelph Griffins, and now you've just got to play for life. Swifty has to break this fence and run to the exterior. Nabber is still, or Pear is still alive. The chase ensues, Lifty to the outside, and Tamu have to keep the dream a-chugging. The Guelph is right behind them here. They're going to turn their attention to the building. They want to make sure they're safe against RIT Black. Meanwhile, Full Sail Armada, the only team now down south with the wipe against CSUDH Cardinal. Georgia Tech Navy and UCSD Gold both forced to make a move here. They have altars, but Rigos is going to be the altar that finds their way to hype. Breaking the Watson fence line, they actually give themselves an advantage against the rest of this. UCSD Gold, though, this is why I brought up the altars. They get that poured out early, and they're going to go down to the low ground. Here, though, in the face of Mad Maggie Ball, this could be the success they need. A mobile shield protects. A beam in the back, though, finds knock for knock. Georgia Tech Navy now in a 1v2 scenario behind knockdowns that be, pinching both sides. They'll wipe out UCSD Gold as Tiger Shrimp commits for the reset. Tamu Maroon keeps himself alive. Meanwhile, RIT Black, one full quick thirst away. That'll be it as the Guelph Griffins here are going to have to try to stick for resets, but the Hawaii natives are just as quick the third party. Top 5 remaining. Georgia Tech is full 3. Full Sail Armada is full 3. Iowa State Farmers, Asian Hulk Bros, Rat is inevitably found out here. Georgia Tech moving in towards the edge. Full Sail Armada gets the knock onto Tiger Shrimp. They'll stick for reset, but Full Sail are just as quick here. Bird for bird. Flesh found will find White Health to beat. Around the backside, they'll try to get themselves as much KP as possible. Remember, Full Sail before this game was in 19th place. 1 point to their name. Couple of long-range exchanges. Hawaii, Texas A&M Maroon, Full Sail Armada here. Tamu working their way towards the southern side. We walk right into the face of Full Sail. It's a good smoke from Tear, but it ain't perfect. We're going to have to make every single bullet count here right around the backside of the edge. Full Sail can't get too aggressive on this peak. They want to finish the job, though. The pylon's going to block out some of their nades, and Full Sail are split in attention. Either way, support from Hawaii and the rest of the roster will finally find the success they need. Tamu Maroon eliminated here. PB and John going to have to climb back up. Georgia Tech Navy, single rats remaining. Hawaii on the other side. Hawaii stepping up here. Heady for heady. You have to wonder if Georgia Tech Navy's going to play a rats defense. Maybe get some revenge against Full Sail. No, he's behind Hawaii. Oh, shit. All right. Try to see if we can peek over to the rat. All right. 3v3 scenario. Ultimately to the end here. Nice line of beam. Finally finds the knock. Gerald to kick this one off as Cole was just as low. They'll break through the Watson fence line as they have to look for these trades. Moving the mobile fence forward here. Cole is taking Dusk aback. A port from the other side doesn't result in anything as Malicious finds the knock onto Rigomore. Still a 3v2 scenario. Hawaii have done it. A 2v2. Cole around the back, and they're losing themselves the sauce. Full Sail now with the double swing. Now a 1v1. It's up to Malicious. Gerald with no help. He's going to try to stick it as the Newcastle, but you're racing against time. A swing around the back, a commit of the R99, and the health is stacked against you. My lord. Hawaii just barely pull themselves back together. Final moments on the board. Shout out to Gerald. Cole was way over peaking that. They go down. Kai gets a massive knock off of a missed attention. But Gerald saves the fucking day. We're already in next game, so let's get this moving quick. All right, guys. Score on the board. I asked you prediction before this. Over, under 5.5 for the U.S. Farmers. ISU Farmers. They walk away with 5. Oh, my God. Just barely misses. Congratulations to the under. You take Group T's points. It's some big numbers on the board, though. Full Sail Armada. That is a return spelled in glory. It ain't enough yet. Play your team's fight song, OU. All right. Pretty sure this is coming through. Here you go. Congratulations to, I don't know why we're playing OU. Congratulations to Hawaii. But in the end, Full Sail Armada are the ones who work away with the KP. 14 KP. 23 points there. W's galore. How come when I type Zephyr on your search bar, you don't pop up until I typed out your full name? Because there is a Zephyr on Twitch. All right. Shooter! All right. Congratulations. Thank you so much, but you're the better Zephyr. I appreciate that. If you guys want to redeem your fight song and you're collecting points to make it happen, that's one of the many, many ones we have. There you go. All right. In the end, University of Hawaii will keep themselves in the lead. Georgia Tech Navy returned with 12. Guelph and Texas A&M Maroon, some good returns there. Overall points now on the board. Let's get a prediction, by the way, for Full Sail. My apologies. They had a 0, a 0, a 0, and a massive 14. Holy shit. All right. Well, we'll keep it low. Full Sail Armada, 5.5 KP. We got to keep this tight with 2 minutes to go. Get your bets in. The overall standings are now going to matter most. 49, 45, 42, 40 for UCSD, Iowa State Farmers, Guelph Griffins, and now Hawaii in the lead. Should be enough. Purdue Black with 35 also should be enough. Kaiser Navy, albeit they get wiped out early there, could be potentially safe. We are starting to see these definitely develop. Gamerhawks Navy, like I said, a couple of fall-off moments, another 0-point game. They could be usurped here. The same to be said for so many of these teams. Notably, it was CSU Ying, Dominguez Hills, and UT Tyler. They officially drop out of the top 10. Full Sail Armada makes the jump with their 23-point game. Iowa State Red has to be careful. All right? I thought the over-under was on the winning team. I put it on whatever team I want, man. I tend to try to put it on the highest performing team, and I don't know, it really doesn't matter. Anyways, get your bets in. The under is currently 5.4K points up. Let's see what we got. The people who don't believe in FSA, Presso, Partisi, Interceder, and Callum. It's Oklahoma. Oklahoma hates Full Sail Armada. All right. I will start to be a little bit more specific about teams' fates here in this next game because squads like IUP, Utah State Goats, Penn State, Illinois State Redbirds, you still have a lot of time to get the job done. Problem is, these next two games have to be impeccable. Tamu on the cutoff. Tamu on the cutoff. Giga Maggies. All right. We're in game. I'll be trying to keep this as up-to-date as possible. As that prediction comes to its end, get your final bets in. There is a pinned comment in chat with the scoreboard if you want to follow along. All right. So we'll see how that goes. Early fighting against Kaiser. Meanwhile, Texas A&M Maroon, they are the cusp. They are 10th right now. Any misstep at this point from Texas A&M could be the difference between semifinals and the end of their push. A couple of ratting moments for Swifty. Right on the stairwell. Was a little bit more prepared for that than they had expected. Drill v drill, and it's good he doesn't repeat that. It was a 2v1 scenario. Even still, around the backside, they'll continue to look. Whips that one out afar there, and I don't think it'll land where he wants it. 30-30 shots right around the back, and oh, one more would have done them in. Still, though, it is flesh found in big nades. They're going to turn this one right round, see if they can pressure back pair. Nabber has found one solo, separated from the pack here with the utilization of the Sparrow Tactical. Up on height. Nice beam, but not the knock they need. Have to be careful about aggressing upon this too quickly. Could get caught out from the other side. Yeah, shot. There it is. There's the shots from the other side. Texas A&M Maroon do have a little bit of a dive away. It is Purdue Black that walk into this. And Houston Red, after all of Tamu's work, Houston are going to swing in. I guess it's Texas supporting Texas. Cowboys wrangle your sheep and, well, or Cowboys wrangle your cattle and, well, you're still putting steak on the dinner plate there. Houston Red will let the Redbirds fly away to safety, but they pick up that 2 KP that Texas A&M desperately needed. Houston Red is in 16th, though.
Never mind.
Gonna see a little bit of a port exchange ahead of Texas A&M Maroon here. Don't know if that means there's a team that they're gonna try to capitalize on, but they are a bit lost in the sauce. Need to start trying to play into a good fight. Running towards Guelph Griffins could come up great or bad. Depends if you get knocked by future streams or you run into Plum Toaster. We'll see. Penn State Blue here, all the way down in 18th place with 6 points. A tough spot for them.
Let's go over there.
Looks like Humbert, the pick of the poison for the POI today. Game 5, Kaiser Navy, Georgia Tech Navy, and Hawaii, who just flew in off of an evac. Iowa State Red with the port plane, RIT Black, and UCF Knights down below. Texas A&M Maroon, Gamerhawks, UCSD, CSUDH, and IUP Crimson as a single slow poke. And I set themselves up. ILST, Illinois State Redbirds. They're currently in 17th, Elixirs, with 8 points. Remember, yesterday they did qualify off of that final remaining game. So never say never here. All right? Just going to have to see how it goes. Sorry, I'm trying to look at something.
Contact.
Oh, guess it didn't work. All right, don't worry about it. Whoop. All right, there we go. Updated a little bit of the layout so I can see. I'm gonna win next game, swear. Ever! What do I say about coming in?
Target spotted.
I don't know if you're playing today, actually. Right, anyways. Looks like the Cougars have been in the best straits. He's a solo, doesn't count. I'm dead, my man. You're dead, but you're not dead yet on stream. I know you're about to walk into Full Sail in the Guelph Griffins, and I know you're going to die in the next 5 minutes because you're in stream. We see a little bit of a punishing. Ooh. Forced to drop the Wraith port play out there. Farmers unable to work the cross all the way up the turbine. UT Tyler could finish out the Farmers. This would be very, very good. Getting the third place team out early here could play big returns. If ever gets 1 point, IUP wins the day. That is easy. Surviving to 15th is easy in a game 6, bro. I'm not even kidding you. Just go play zone silently. And don't pick a good spot, pick a shitty spot. Why? Because they won't go. But I don't make the rules. You do. You do, Alright. Guelph Griffins all the way on the outskirts here. They've had a phenomenal day, and it looks to be getting just a bit better there. Future Streams misses out that final shot, but it could have been extra KP. Up against, well, you guessed it, Kaiser Navy, 6th place. So 6th versus 2nd place. Remember, if you're looking for any kind of success, this is who you want to see. Meanwhile, CSUDH potentially to send our first or second team pack in here. I can assume Ever was just wiped out. Maybe not. It looks like it's a full 3-piece. I missed the wipe. I didn't see who was wiped. Recon has killed me every time. Call my rat spot right here. Well, this ain't you. This is someone else. I don't know.
The perfect upgrade.
Guys, we gotta help him out. All right. Anyways, Illinois State Redbirds, we're out through zone there, but it gets poor. Call my rat spot for next game, dude. I want you. All right, you see Neon Square? I want you tucked away on the first floor of a Neon Square building on the south side. That's the Zephyr call out. That's where I want you as a rat. I'll do my best. Yeah, you gotta make a skip and a leap, by the way. I wouldn't even loop. All right. BB and John from Full Sail Armada looking to keep the dreams alive here. Finds a knock on future streams, and that could be it for the Guelph Griffins here in a second. Albeit, remember, we're sharing a lot of space. 158 from I'm Rumbly here. UCSD Gold, sadly, just don't have a way to cross the distance and instead are going to keep their rotate going. Now, the ISU Farmers did get themselves put back together. I believe the same could be said for ILST. Gonna ban someone real quick as the Guelph Griffins were not sent upon. Come on, give me a ban. Unable to fetch a count. So, there we go. Couple of shots here. This Full Sail Armada could push into them at any given point. Meanwhile, we are going to be pulling for the split on Humbert. We do still have a lot of that west side available. Personally, I like that because it's a lot easier to control who you pick up in terms of KP. Not a big fan of the east side. I mean, it does usually last in the game, but it's fight into it. A lot of teams still extremely edge rotating here, so there's going to be a lot of that west side space available, only currently held by the Utah State Goats. Meanwhile, Texas A&M Maroon building for building here against the Gamerhawks. ISU Farmers, though, UT Tyler here to get revenge. They faced that initial knock and now will look for more. If you're UT Tyler, this is the worst roster to run into in the top 10. UT Tyler in 13th, and this could be what pins them to their end here. Asian Hulk Pro going to look for a teleport of action to get Kamal in a better spot. Meanwhile, Group T pulling this one back just as quickly. He's going to work into that portal so that they can try to follow up UT Tyler. Even still, getting out ahead of them here. Let's see where it ends up. There's that port play, and they've just barely heard where ISU Farmers are. They are still stuck in zone. It's not great, though. That zone will close sometime soon here in the next minute, and ISU has to figure out how they're going to enter in there because maybe UT rotates. But that ring has already dropped Kamal down, and you want to pick up all the KP you can. UT Tyler at 16 points. 17 puts them tied for 12. All right, Kamal's back up, so no KP. Meanwhile, we check in with the other ISU roster in zone. Shout out to them. Actually, honestly, most teams are in zone. Illinois State Redbirds just get themselves put back together. Here's the evac from ISU. They're going to work their way out east for now. Can't believe Jonkler hits a shot like that. But what am I saying? The Jonkler will jonkle on them. Hashtag blacked by Purdue, blacked by Purdue. Purdue's all the way in the south by UCF Knights. I don't know. They're sharing buildings down there. We could see the pole. All right, Kamal knocked down. Up on high, Georgia Tech Navy, and the majority of these Humbert teams are going to be pressured by them. Remember, Humbert good for now. Some of those extended buildings held by Full Sail Armada and Guelph Griffins all the way towards the east could be punished upon, but there's so much inside Humbert that you get a lot of teams left alive. We are round 3 close, still in it. Topher with a knock onto Group T, and UT Tyler should be finishing the job here against the Farmers. Meanwhile, Gamerhawks Navy straight into Kaiser there. They just set up the castle wall, but kingdoms are built to crumble here. Even still, though, oh my gosh, Kaiser Navy got a beam and a half. Farmers done by UT Tyler. Kaiser done. As a result, your 6th and 3rd place team no longer in the lobby. If you're a lower half, that is a massive chunk of success. Shout out to Hawaii. Tracking where it counts here. I can believe, Naber likes to jump way too much. That is definitely him. So, shout out to that Kraber. Texas A&M Maroon will be able to get down to the low ground and heal that one up there. Now Hawaii is going to pin this just a bit somewhere else. Meanwhile, ISU Red, they're holding out for heroes. We're going to be pulling even further south. A little bit of Humbert still in play, but my lord, that cross and those buildings down there, you've got very, very little to work with if you are not already there. Georgia Tech Navy might be able to continue to play here from Humbert as Texas A&M Maroon finishes off Penn in the center there of Humbert. That's 3 very important KP. That puts them tied with ISU Red in 9th. UT Tyler sacrificed everything to hold out ISU. I didn't say it was smart. I said ISU Farmers were going to die. Even still, UT Tyler are still in the game. Can't say the same for the likes of the Gamerhawks. Houston Red have been electric all game 5, punishing so many of these further teams. Johnny with Kraber in hand. I know he can make a charge rifle work, but can he cause the Kraber to sing where it counts? couple of extensions from a lot of these rosters, and down below you see just a little bit of that effect. Houston wants to get every KP they can. 16th place. All right. ISU Red continuing to hold out the very southern side of zone here as UCF, though, gets a double knock drop on their push in the building. That'll be it for the Iowa State Red team, as both ISU squads are now out. For Texas A&M, that is the biggest love of a life change that they could have ever had. The 9th place team just died, and you're still in it in 10th. This could be a big switch up. Meanwhile, the Gamerhawks Navy, that's your 7th place team. They have not been super successful thus far, but with these knocks against Houston Red, this is the most points they've seen in over 2 games here. Illinois State Redbirds, just as quickly, also trying to pick up that KP against UH. Everyone is in except a single rat of UT Tyler. Hawaii peeking the other angle, and they are a full 3-man force against Illinois State Red and University of Houston. So, the Hawaii Tsunamis on their way out to prow. Fence line available, and they're taking height away. Gerald's going to look for the extension. Meanwhile, Swifty with a knock against RIT Black. Texas A&M Maroon, trade for trade. Nabber's going to try to stick this one as a leap around the back there. Is followed through excellently by Nabber. Another wipe for Texas A&M Maroon as they take away the only position available in Humbert left standing here. Houston Red inevitably finished off by the likes of the Gamerhawks. UT Tyler stiffed out here by Hawaii. 10 squads remaining, and reverse Dizzy. I don't know where the Gamerhawks are, but they are a punishing roster at that. That's got down, and the Gamerhawks up above trying to stick to revive, and the beams are not beaming in through the phase, and the Gamerhawks get the knocks onto Naxlow. One remaining member of the Wraith to try to play for safety here, and ooh, Benton is just as quick on their heels. You can hear that phase on the other side, and they will finish what they have started. Okay, that is not them. All right, I'm Rumley from USCSD. Gold will be the one that finishes the job there. Gamerhawks have a position in zone, but it could be wrapped by Hawaii. Meanwhile, Georgia Tech Navy and UCSD Gold going to have to hang on for dear life here, as they are the only 2 teams from the south side. CSUDH, UCF, Full Sail Armada have to fight against the world. It's a long-range shot from Swifty to start this one off, and now a Sparrow Ultimate will get the job done here. Final shots and more KP for Texas A&M Maroon. Still, though, UCF Knights going to try to hold this one out. Purdue Black on the move. Texas A&M just as much here. We're going to see Purdue beat Texas A&M. Wraps around the back, and woo! A massive leap up onto height. And Nabber has the absolute perfect position to, well, I mean, find beams where they can't. They're going to leave that one in the back, as that'll be Purdue Black finished on edge. Meanwhile, Pear moves this one forward because they need every chance they can get into zone. 4 squads remaining. The revive coming through. Georgia Tech Navy eliminated. Gamerhawks still in it. CSUDH Cardinals still in it. UCSD still in it here. It's a nade from up on high, and UCSD have massive success. Just 1 remaining member in Goose trying to make this count with the Newcastle, but UCSD are just as quickly here to extend and finish the job. CSUDH done here. They did make it, though, all the way to the top 4. They were in 12th previously. Texas A&M Maroon, a reset on edge. The Gamerhawks Navy sharing a very similar space on the northern side.
Tango near me.
Texas A&M Maroon do not have a lot to work with here. The minute they exit out, UCSD are just as quickly looking for them. Both going to have to work their way into, I think, a duo for Gamerhawks Navy. All right, UCSD Gold in 4th place before this game. Texas A&M Maroon in 10th, and Gamerhawks Navy in 7th. These are huge returns for Texas A&M and the Gamerhawks here. 7th and 10th. This will be the games that secure you. You're already at least a minimum of 7th with placement. Gamerhawks going to get smoked out here just as quickly. Texas A&M Maroon are able to find themselves just a bit of cover back. A drill from afar and a rolling thunder to punish. There's the Sparrow Ultimate. This will give way for UCSD to come play. There's the beam on the other side, and all of Texas A&M Maroon have taken the space. Heals for heals, and you have to wonder, where is UCSD? Bit of a fence line on the backside. Burns and Drills beaming. They've made it top 2. A 3v3 scenario here against UCSD. UCSD have height. They have the first knock here. Now on the other side, that makes knock numero 2 with one final kill to go. UCSD bide their time and finish with a game on the day. Massive returns for the likes of Gamerhawks. Massive returns for Texas A&M. Let's take a look at that scoreboard. All right, folks. Game 5. Woo! I can't... Oh, this one pisses me off. All right, we've redeemed OU's fight song again. Shout out to Texas A&M Maroon here. Leading with 22 points, 13 KP in a second place finish there. UCSD with 19 their own way. Gamerhawks Navy, holy shit, 17 points in their own way. Third place with 10 KP. All three of them are going to secure themselves. Boomer sooner, you sons of bitches. Let's take a look at the over. Well, let's get the prediction. I asked y'all over under 5.5 for Full Sail. They got 4. A tight under. Last one of the day. God, I hate this. Over under Tamu Maroon. 5.5 KP. You guys got 2 minutes to get it in. There you go, OU. Messing with me. Texas sucks. Well, either way. You guys are already qualified. For these teams, they are not. UCSD now with double dubs here. Now with 59 points, they're good. Hawaii, they're good. Gamerhawks, Guelph, Iowa State Farmers, Maroon with 42. You're good. The cutoff is currently 25 for Georgia Tech Navy. Kaiser Navy at 32 has been struggling here. They are not safe. I'd say Purdue Black is likely fine. So we look towards Kaiser Navy down with Full Sail and Georgia Tech currently in the game. Iowa State Red tied. The better game held by Georgia Tech. UCF Knights, CSUDH, as good as CSUDH did survive in that game, they only had their placement in the top 4. Gonna call ISU Red getting top 10 because I believe. Shit, man, I believe too. If the Farmers can do it, Red can as well. They had great zone decision-making. They just didn't have the fight. Of course, plenty of teams here down on the low ground. Even the Illinois State Redbirds could potentially make it. But everyone down here has got to ball the fuck out. Careful about being on map too much this game. We want to keep counting them every single time someone dies. Just making a quick exchange to my observer there. Realistically, Kaiser Navy, Full Sail Armada, Georgia Tech Navy, they're the only ones at threat in the top 10 right now. Solo from IUP going to get a 20-kill win? We'll have to see. 40 seconds remaining on the prediction, by the way. Over, under, 5.5 KP for Tamu Maroon. Get your bets in. You got to take the over. You got to take the under. You got to finish the job here. Before we get into game, here's the Lewis cam. Oh, he is so quick. IUP ever 1 point. That should have been the prediction. That would have been good. That would have been good. I apologize. I did not think that one through. I was just moving through the motions. In the end, we'll see how it goes. A little bit of time here left on the board before we break on into the action. And what do you guys think, Lewis? Who do you think Lewis thinks? Lewis knows all. So who do you think Lewis thinks is going to make it into the top 10? Who do you think Lewis's favorite team is? You know? These are the questions we need to be asking in these moments. Lewis' favorite team is definitely Chopped. It could be. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's cuddling up. Cuddling up. All right. I'll look at the scoreboard one last time. before we get into game. Memorize it, but we've got it pinned in chat, and I will be doing my best to call it out as we go through. This is the last opportunity. You'll be joining the rest of these teams as the final 10 ahead. The rest eliminated, disposed of, and deceased until Stage 2 in 2026. Character selection on the board. We haven't talked about the bands in a while. It was the Altar into the Wraith. Things like the Sparrow in play. Rotation ability like the Path. Mad Maggie, a big pickup for a lot of teams given that you're still running into the Watson and the Newcastle. So expect drills galore. All right, folks. Here we go. The final game of lower round 3. 10 move on. 10 eliminate.
I see a ring console over there.
Let's start this area.
Now, I gave IUP Crimson the challenge of ratting in Neon Square. I don't know if that's going to be good for them, but it was the challenge I gave ever. We'll see how it plays out. That's a subtle bet. A 1 point for IUP Crimson that we'll be taking a look at. UCSD Gold. Oh, by the way, I'm going to say this now, and I'll reiterate it. There are a lot of teams that are very good and secure. UCSD, Hawaii, GamerX Navy, Guelph Griffins, Iowa State Farmers, Texas A&M, even Purdue Black. You want them dead right now. Those are a threat that you don't want to walk into. For Penn State Blue, they're looking for threats. They can hear the shots that they need to take ahead. Kaiser Navy, they are currently in 8th. They cannot be caught out by Penn State here. If they are caught out by Penn State, this would be their end. Lewis's favorite team is TNT Give Me Hands. Oh, hell yeah.
Attention.
Hell yeah. If only they didn't fall apart 1 second of postseason. I know. All right. Penn State will be inevitably spotted out here in the Kaiser Navy exchange, so we are good for now. But if you're Penn State, you kind of want this KP. You want to get rid of the things ahead of you, especially the team that is in 8th. Couple pushes. Stays up on height. Just trying to cut the exchange. Little nade over on the side. You have to wonder, were they split apart here? Flicks having to regroup with the roster oh so quickly. Ooh. Already back down low. A Mad Maggie ball to try to save the roster. A massive hit there, but it comes bouncing back. Finally, a knock. TTV, yo awful, you guys. The first remove, the second days to follow. And Kaiser Navy eliminates Penn State Blue, sends them packing, and eliminates them from the competition as a whole. Here's the problem. Iowa State Red heard you're fighting, and they want a piece of the action. They're in 11th right now, and you look like free KP. 3-5 as the red numbers beam onto your screen. Trying to see if they can cut it around the back. Rushing this one down. They are just on the tail end here. Shots on swords, though, just as quickly as ISU will face their first knock in response. Kaiser Navy, trade for trade. They're actually losing it. I was trying to play this with the Newcastle Res, but Kaiser Navy, gets knocked in the exchange before it comes off. A quick Res exchange right as quickly, but Kaiser Navy are much more full health. Pin for pin, up on height. ISU Red, the 19th place team eliminated with 0 KP. Kaiser Navy now 6 KP up. That would put them at 38. Kaiser Navy might have just secured themselves success here. Utah State Goats, though, they want a third party this. We say goodbye to ISU Red till 2026. Meanwhile, Utah getting shot from the other side here. It ain't oh so secured as the ISU Farmers are finding Purdue Black. That's kind of okay. Purdue Black is relatively safe. Holy shit, Kaiser Navy. Kaiser Navy have come out to play. Wholesale Armada in 9th place, by the way. They are just behind Kaiser Navy, who have jumped up to 38. All struck. ISU Red gone forever. Corey, you just threw us not having to hear spam from KU and trash talk for 2 weeks. Ooh. Oh. Ooh, yeah, no, you're getting Kaiser Navy all week long, guys. You're getting a fat dose of Kaiser Navy. All right, not returning for stage 2. No! No more ISU red. We'll see. Take some time during Christmas. All right. Use the season. Hey, Kaya. Let Koryu walk away on this. Give him some time. All right. And if it really doesn't come through, I'm sure you guys can find a third. ISU red will return. The farmers, I'm not quite so sure about. He's one of my best friends IRL. I'm a shit talk him. All right. Fair. Fair is fair. Have a little kindness. Now, why is he leaving? Why is Koryu leaving? I mean, it's been a rough season for Koryu, guys. He started on farmers, got dropped down, and he's been doing very, very well leading the ISU red roster, but being an IGL is tough. I mean, I was hard on Fiddle Dude a lot. No comment at the moment. No comment is fine. We'll keep the drama for later. 18 squads remaining as we tune in with UT Tyler. 14th place with 20 points. They're just as tight as it gets.
I'm going here.
By the way, if UCSD are up for it, I'd love to chat with one of them at the end of this game if they still hold on to first place. It's either that or Hawaii. He might say he hasn't told us if it's okay to say, so we gotta be silent. Okay, alright. Don't worry about it, Soras. Kaiser Navy here, looking for just as much success, but they'll run it up against RIT Black. RIT Black with 12 points needs to start having a Kaiser Navy game if they want to turn it around here. Even still, Kaiser Navy taking their time, maybe looking to just rotate instead. Don't want this. I gotta know if this Dreamcast is the same guy I got matched with in ranked. It might be, Waffles. Bide your time. Count your chickens before they hatch. Eggs, chicken, something else. All right, couple of rosters still on their way out. IUP Crimson, by the way, taking their time. Sadly, Neon Square was. Surely this will be the quality of semis A. Yeah, by the way, the quality right now is currently 9.9. 9.99, a 10 out of 10 quality. This is the best series Octane has ever seen. All right, Gamerhawks Navy stuck as a duo, but they are secured. Remember, they had 3. If we get 4, it's a W. Who just died? Oh, IUP Crimson. We'll say goodbye to them in 2026. Right now, there are only 7 eligible teams. How many kills would Schwabi have? Infinite kills. Oh, Texas A&M Maroon finds Flicks with his pants down, and the rest of the Kaiser Navy are running for the hills here. All right. Yeah, dude, Schwab would 1v59 this thing. That is just absolute brown glory from my little goat, Schwab. I love that man with all my heart. You know, we took him to Indiana. He didn't compete with us. He was like a sub, basically, but we really just took him there because we loved him. We took Schwab with us for the vibes. Didn't have to. At all. Could have pocketed the money. Didn't. Instead, we brought Schwab with us for love. Alright. Kaiser Navy, 4-6. 460 Envira should be able to get out to the edge here. There is no crafter towards their north, but they do have the beacon. So, mobile beacon on the side as RIT Black would be following them through.
Enemy spotted.
RIT Black are going to hear this reset, and they might be the ones to finish off Kaiser Navy here. Kaiser are going to hold on for dear life. It's a beautiful drill on Parsnips that will push them back and allow that revive to play out here. Vibra and 460 doing a great job holding off RIT Black. Holy shit. There's a reason this man is able to survive. All of Kaiser back in play, and a knock on the Parsnips. This could be the RIT end. Down in 16th, a knock on the low ground, a trade for Unmar, one final remaining member, and RIT Black. It is Kaiser Navy all day long here. That is another roster wipe by Kaiser Navy. Kaiser Navy is now, I believe, officially tied with Texas A&M Maroon. They're kind of tied. Kaiser Navy needs a big game, and they have delivered. By the way, that is a 4th roster eliminated in the bottom 10. There may not be many stakes on the line here for these teams. 6 squads remaining in the bottom 10. That's Penn State, no. That's Utah State Goats, ILST, Houston Red, UT Tyler, CSUDH, UCF Knights. Yeah, let's go the Redbirds. The Redbirds remain as the final open level team. If you're not a watcher of Octane, that just means they're the 3rd division down. We got Premier Contenders open. They're the last remaining OTAN open squad. Texas A&M, they start finding even more KP to their own name. Georgia Tech Navy, currently in 10th place right now. Oh my god. Wait, no, that fight is oh so important. I guess we'll watch Kaiser Navy instead. Oh shit, Georgia Tech might be kicked out. Georgia Tech might be kicked out. Georgia Tech eliminated. Georgia Tech in 10th place is eliminated there by the Texas A&M Maroon roster. This is a big moment for the UCF Knights and CSUDH. Georgia Tech Navy only had 25 points, and they walk away from that game with 0. A team like ILST needs 15 to get the job done.
Something good there.
The potential to usurp the top 10 has arrived. Full Sail Armada would have to die for another spot to open up here. Someone will make it in over Georgia Tech Navy as a premier level team eliminated. All right. Long range evacs coming in play. Full Sail Armada here. They were in 9th before this game, and they're going to make it count. UCF Knights, knocks of their own here. UT Tyler, not much better themselves. Looks like UT Tyler. But remember, we are kind of on long range with those pickups. That was a G7 Scout and a charge rifle. Don't know if it means much. Kaiser Navy, I feel like we just cannot walk away from this game. Couple of full sends there. Reverse Dizzy shot from the other side. Mystical Maverick, low health. And the cheats have been downloaded. They have uploaded going into this final game. From up on high, Flix basically blocks himself on the exchange, but Vira is still looking. A quick dive down to the low ground there, and Fletch is found for Virus. Now over on the edge. Kaiser Navy's going to pick up more. Just saying, would have been a bad shot for your upset if you're script you're unaware of. Oh, I know all. I know all always. And I know that Kaiser Navy are about to win this fight here. Couple of extra heals up on high. Looking at the edge of the Gamerhawks. Getting rid of the 2nd place team would be huge. Mystical Maverick is oh so low, and Flix finds the knock necessary. Reverse Dizzy's gonna commit for this, but not before we see the launch here from Kaiser. Knocks on knocks. 1 final remaining member, and Kaiser Navy have done it again. Someone contact Kaiser Navy. They're getting a highlight reel this game. That is the end, though, of the Gamerhawks. They are secured in their position in the top 3. We'll look towards these 14 squads remaining as we're heading straight towards the beautiful Blossom that be. Now, Iowa State Farmers kind of extending over on the edge there. See if they could capitalize. Purdue Black currently all the way in 7th after that last game. They were able to get 3. Kaiser's actually fighting for a top 5 spot right now. Well, at 12 points to their name, they're at 50. They're already top 3. We'll have to see how they if they transition from the north successfully. They are currently beating out the Gamerhawks. They just usurped the Gamerhawks. Texas A&M and plenty of other squads like UCSD not in zone. They are relatively secure in their position, but hey, every point counts. As we saw from Georgia Tech Navy, there's always the chance you could be wiped out. Here comes Kaiser Navy. They've been on a tear this game, and the confidence of all that KP will give them the opportunity to play even better. Meanwhile, can the same be said for the Illinois State Redbirds? It would have to be a dub, but more importantly, it'd have to be some KP. Judge peeking at stairs, or either the open entrance finds themselves brought down. Meanwhile, Group T with a long-range knock on Full Sail Armada. I'm going to assume this is a stacked building here. CSUDH above the likes of ILS-TV. Able to find more as Group T with Renox. ISU Farmers going to pack away Full Sail Armada here potentially. One remaining member in I Am Sousa. And if Full Sail Armada die in 14th, that is another available squad. There's commit from Iowa State Farmers out through the backside with nowhere to go. 2 spots have opened up here with Georgia Tech and Full Sail dying. 2 new teams will join the top 10. Who will it be? Could it be UCF Knights? Could it be CSU Dominguez Hills? Could it be... no, it can't be RIT Black. They died. All right. We'll see how it goes. Kaiser Navy right alongside Texas A&M above them here. Ooh, so many teams on the inside of this zone. We are playing towards the very exterior of Blossom for now. Iowa State Farmers did lose out in Group T, but will put themselves back together. They're gatekeeping UCSD. A couple more. Topher with a long-range knock onto Hawaii. We knew they were out in the open, so I don't think that's going to result in more, but instead, they're pincered from multiple angles. Cole, Gerald down. Getting rid of Hawaii would be massive here. You can see UT Tyler. This is that angle that they have. Meanwhile, Nabber with the drop onto UCSD's Lucian. There goes Yuffie. This could be big for them. Full UCSD wiped out here. That was the #1 roster. We'll have to see how it goes. Nabber with the re-knock as Iowa State Farmers are going to see if they can pick up and punish the remaining rosters here coming out of their slow rotates. Meanwhile, the Guelph Griffins, they've been good all day long, but they'll still face a knock from Revickson. Maybe it's the start of the Redbirds here. A quick reset from Judge and what could have been beams to work with. A quick climb up from Plum Toaster will be a drop down. And that's the first 3 KP that Illinois State Redbirds need. But the Purdue Black roster just as quickly walks out here. Even still, a re-knock from Revickson. Dreamcast is up to the 2nd floor. Hawaii eliminated in 11th. Illinois State Redbirds now need to try to play for this reset here. All the way up on high. Holy shit. Kaiser Navy now beat Iowa State Farmers. The Mad Maggie ball will push them back. The beam onto Asian Hulk Pro. Kaiser with the first drop down. There is the Newcastle wall, but it's a big break from Kamal. Even still, Group T full thirsted. Resets coming through here, and Kaiser have done that much and more. Full wipes out. Utah State from the other side. Meanwhile, Purdue Black stuck as a duel. Were able to get their resets, but Illinois State Redbirds are just as happy to pick up KP where it counts. There's the double knock. Illinois are going to have to keep this one dreaming and reaming here. The burn, though, finds Judge, and this could be the end of Illinois. Bamboozle for the Foozles there, uses the Phoenix kit to keep this one lasting. It is a 1v1 scenario for Illinois. Mad Maggie ball up on height as Lifty, I don't know what the hell that was. Kaiser Navy with a whop on CSUDH. Kaiser Navy might literally be the first place team in the lead now. Utah State Goats are right alongside them. Now let's talk about who are still in it. Cam and Maroon wiped out here. Remember, UCF Knights were in 12th. CSUDH were in 13th. They might have usurped this position, but it will come down to the end. UT Tyler in all the way down in 14th. We have the 12th, 13th, and 14th place team still alive. Illinois State Redbirds also alive, and the Utah State Goats. Guys, the 13th, the 14th, the 15th, the 17th, and the 18th place team in the last possible spots. Here we go. You want to see Lewis? Lewis is right here. Here's Lewis. Kaiser Navy up on height. Oh, it looks like CSUDH was eliminated. My apologies. Kaiser Navy, they have this height to work with here. Here's the thing for Illinois State Redbirds. They just need to survive to the top 2. Ooh, big beams. UT Tyler with a knock onto UCF Knights here. Illinois State Redbirds with a drop onto Sloshy Medusa. I don't know if it's a full thirst, but he's got to see if that comes through. I think UCF are going to get themselves reset here. Kaiser Navy are already committed, but everyone else in this lobby needs every point that counts. Utah State Goats have found Illinois State Redbirds as a rat over on the side. They might commit for it, but Kaiser State, they usurp! They drop onto them before they get the chance! They don't even get to beam! Utah State Goats are wiped out by Kaiser Navy! Meanwhile, UCF Knights caught out here. A drop from up above, and that's UT Tyler. 3v3 scenario. There's the burn on the other side. And they're just biding their time. Illinois State Redbirds is found out here. They'll go down in third. A final remaining member of UT Tyler. The rest coming down. And a moment of glory. A turnaround scene from the gods above. Kaiser Navy are your final winners of the day. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think Kaiser Navy just won lower round 3. If Kaiser Navy is in chat anywhere, I want to talk to one of you. Someone get me Kaiser Navy on the line. I need someone message Kaiser Navy. I want to interview him. Either way, let's take a look at the scoreboard. The final scoreboard of the day, the top 10. Oh, even though they had a third place finish. That's it for the Illinois State Redbirds. Iowa State Red joins them. We talked about Georgia Tech Navy already dropping down, but what shocks me most is even though Full Sail Armada die early, they still retain their position. CSUDH and UCF Knights, as far as they survived, just didn't get enough kills. As a result, it will be officially Full Sail Armada from Premier League, UT Tyler from Premier League, Purdue Black from Premier League, Gamerhawks Navy from Premier League, the Guelph Griffins from Contenders, Iowa State Farmers from Premier League, University of Hawaii from Premier League, Texas A&M Maroon from Premier League, UCSD from Premier League, and yes, Kaiser Navy finishing in first place from Contenders. Congratulations to Kaiser Navy. What a turnaround. We say goodbye to our last open level team. There are currently five rosters in the... You got some DMs from Kaiser? All right, let's jump into it. You want to talk to us? Perfect. All right. Hello, testing.
Oh, what's up, man?
Is that 60 and... Oh,
Yo.
we're getting the whole Kaiser squad. I'm going to ask the Twitch chat. Can you hear Kaiser, folks?
Hello.
Hola.
All right. Congratulations today, folks, or you guys. I mean, ultimately, the big thing I want to ask right off the bat is you guys, first of all, go through an insane start, right? Incredible. Second place, third place, and then you get into this lull here where you're almost screwed, right? What the hell happened going into Game 6? How did that happen?
So basically, I had a pep talk with the team. I went into my best character.
Wait. By the way, they can't see you, so give us... You're going to have to name yourself first.
Oh, so this is Virus, IGO Kaiser. I just gave a pep talk to my team and told them to lock in. You know, it's not the end of the world that we got 2 duds. We're still in a good spot. Get a couple points. I just told him I was going into my Mad Maggie bag. And usually when I go into my Mad Maggie bag, I pretty much run down the lobby and kill people. And sure enough, Penn State, you know, shout out to Penn State, all love, no hate.
God.
They tried WKM me off spawn, and let's just say that went horrible. They got sat down. Then, you know, a 1,000 teams tried third partying me, and they got sat down too. So that built the momentum for the game, and I felt like I couldn't die. So that's how the momentum started for Game 6.
Okay, this is the thing. I'm additionally curious, and Vire, you don't have to answer this. Someone else can. Mm-hmm. Where the hell is this Penn State beef coming from?
That's a great question.
So this Penn State beef actually came from our first time playing Octane together. We took first place, and it was actually a scrim. We scored 180 points in a scrim in Octane.
Wow. And
afterwards, me and Virus thought it'd be funny. At the same time, we'll go to general chat, and we'll both send a One Piece GIF. We both sent a One Piece gift. That's all we sent, and it like absolutely triggered them and made them explode, and just led to like a 3-week beef of them adding us. Like, oh, you guys didn't call here. You didn't call here. Kept sending screenshots of the overstat from 3 weeks ago, but today was when it mattered. So I'm glad we're moving on.
Amen. Amen. Can I see the GIF? Can someone find that GIF? That is a beef producing.
That might be
GIF.
a legendary GIF.
This has got to
Alright,
be an amazing GIF.
Let's see. It was a.
I could just search my own name.
Let's see. I'm gonna just send it to him in his DMs. Let's see.
Yeah, go
Search
ahead.
for
Go ahead. I can
Ozek.
pull it up on stream.
Since me and Flix have been a duo for like over 10 years, we just sent a Luffy and Zoro GIF, and this is the
Yeah,
exact
it's like
GIF
a
we
duo
sent.
thing.
No shit. Okay, folks. The folks that are watching stream right now, this is the gift that they sent right here. This is it. All they sent was the Whiskey Peak finish against what is that? That's Mr. I don't remember which Mr. that is, and that's the lady who can change her weight and density. Anyways, that's the Whiskey Pete finish from the two of them. For those who are watching, you guys are one of the few contenders teams left remaining. I think there's less than 10 currently going into semifinals. That's a pretty stacked title to carry, right? And you guys just finished first in the lower third. I mean, what does that mean to y'all? Do you guys feel like you got to represent for contenders?
Of course, and I feel like we have a chip on our back because a lot of teams, ever since the Penn State beef, other teams started chipping in and started saying stuff about us. So we got a chip on our shoulder, and we got to prove everybody wrong.
Specifically, Iowa State Red. They were actually the team that third-partied us at that last game right after we killed Penn State.
Oh, damn. Yeah, and they finished today in 14th overall. They will officially be eliminated. Is there anyone else in contenders, in open? Hell, anyone from Premier League that's got to watch out here moving forward?
No one that's got to watch out, but my guy Maple. I can't wait to compete against him. I love him.
I can't wait to see more Group D as well.
Yeah, Group D, my homie.
D. Yeah, you guys will be
Love
joining
Group
Group
D.
D. Top 5 today from the Iowa State Farmers. Is there any? Yeah, I was going to say. I think Mabel, she's benched. Is there any?
She's benched. No.
Any last comments you guys want to give from the Kaiser Navy squad?
Shout out Kaiser. I love playing Apex with these guys. It was a great time today.
60.
Yeah, same thing.
All right, Virus.
Yes, 60's a minute. This won't be the last that you see us. I promise that. We make more splashes. Can't wait to compete against everybody else.
All right, well, there you go. You heard from him. Thank you so much, y'all. I really, really appreciate you jumping into a quick little interview there. Congratulations, and I can't wait to see you guys.
Thank you.
See you, man. Have a good day.
All right, there you guys go. Little final dub of an interview there. Ah, shit. I don't know if we're gonna do any more other than that. Shout out to them. Oh, you guys didn't even see the GIF. My apologies. I guess I whiffed it on that one. All right. As a result, these 10 teams will jump up into the end here. If OY is in chat, I'd love to see who or where they might be ending up. If not, no big deal. That was the final moments before we go to Thanksgiving break. For those who want a little bit more, it says at the top of the graph, it does. Hold on. Round 3 odds. All right, so odds. Joining the hellish rosters in semifinals A, we will have Kaiser Navy, Texas A&M Maroon, damn it, Iowa State Farmers, god damn, Gamerhawks Navy, and UT Tyler Esports. GG Jonkler, GG. And the easier lobby with Cumberland Southern Miss and Utah, a little bit more balanced. You got USCD Gold, Hawaii, the Guelph Griffins, Purdue Black, and Full Sail Armada. All right, folks. I'm going to do this on the loose cam. I want to thank you guys so much for showing up and supporting today as well as yesterday. And of course, Octane as a whole. I'm going to enjoy the break, hopefully as much as you guys. And when we come back, we will be prepped and ready. I missed another fight song. All right, well, here you go. God damn it. How are you getting all these points, man? Jesus Christ. There you go. More fight songs there. Oh, over under 5.5 KP Tamu Maroon last game. It was over. Congrats. I want to see Lewis, Ben. You're seeing Lewis. Oh, you want to see Lewis and Wright? There you go. Amling's good. All right, guys. All right. Oh, you can't hear it? Hold on. My apologies. I forgot I have this only set up like this. There you go. One little last love towards OU today. We'll see OU next week or next weekend in Lobby B. Sorry, Caden. Oh, I need points. Yeah. You might need points. You might need a couple of points here. All right, folks. Congrats to everybody who made it through in the end there. It's going to be one hell of a final playoff season starting in December 6th. Just to let you guys know, we will be having, hopefully, the ECAC finals on December 1st, so tune in there. Then, scrims. There is going to be a high school show match, by the way, on December 3rd. December 3rd is likely going to be the draft day as well. And I'll make a calendar of all this. So we got December 1st, ECAC, scrims on the 2nd. The 3rd is a high school show match, as well as into scrims and then draft. Then on the 6th and 7th, we've got semifinals into match point finals. Then that following weekend, the 13th, we got group stage of the draft tournament. And 14th, we got match point finals, as well as Braden Michaels' tournament earlier on the day. It's a lot coming up. Zephyr's trying to plan out December as much as possible. If you have ideas for the weekdays, since scrims will be done, I might host some 3v3s, whatever it may be. If you want to help out, join my Discord server down below or send me a message DM. I need as much help as I can get. But I love you guys. I love the collegiate scene. And thank you so much for tuning in today. Let's raid someone. One final raid of the day. Who? Dig Vibes. Octane. No, Octane's done. Pants, Samurai Sky, Uni, ASCII, Fit2. I don't know, guys. Please. I'm bored. We're going to do Kimchi Lee. Because I love him. All right. Once again, thank you guys so much. You were a blessing and a half. And if you like and you want to stay on today, maybe you'll enjoy kimchi. Maybe you won't. Other than that, thank you so much. I'll see you guys next weekend.